We're back, folks. A little later than expected, but we're here nonetheless. Action figures already on display. Grin Grappler, it's a little early in the month for us, right? We're not in the final week racing against deadlines. We've got a little bit ahead of ourselves, and we're talking about the model, Rick Martel. Another wrestling legend added to the Grin Grappler archives tonight. Very, very excited for this one. Expert panel, as always, your favourite quartet. Bobby Two Shoes, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. Excited to be here. Excited to talk about Rick Martel. Got some basketball on as well, so it should be a fun night.
We should stress, even though I've just remembered this literally right now, I was clued in on Tuesday. Katrina and Alex told me that our friend Big Bobby D, Dutch will be facing Nick Nemeth tonight. Was what we said. Was what we heard. Right? Was that the word?
Yeah.
On the AMC. So this may at one point double up as a grin along of sorts, very, very briefly and in spurts. So stay tuned for that. Be alarmed, be ready, be prepared. Contrarian Alex, how are you?
Doing well. Very excited for our topic du jour. Almost as unexcited as I am to fly out of Austin, Texas tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. If you've been privy to any social media happenings currently, the Austin airport's a bit of a clusterfuck. So I might just go straight from here to the airport. So we'll see how long this baby goes.
Interesting. I have to ask because the audience would be mad if I didn't. Are you going to SmackDown and are you joining the White Six?
It was proposed to me, but I got a horse on the other side of the country I go attend to. It's sick, so.
Okay, fair enough. The Oracle of Wrestling, how are you?
I'm good. Did you see that part when we turned on the bumper and I fucking turned my thing off and I threw that trash away and I came back and I just gave you the double thumbs up and pumped my fist.
You made good speed on that. It's always interesting for me. I oversee everything. Bobby does this really alarming one where he'll just push his camera down.
Mm-hmm.
So you just see like Bobby's shirt for a minute at the bumper and then at the last second, boom, it comes back on. It's, oh, thank God he's still there. Anything could have happened,
Oracle, if you'd hit the ropes going that fast in that Canada ring we're going to talk about, you would have broken that thing, man.
Yeah. That was, used the word anxiety for that, which I absolutely loved. That was exactly the word for it. I gotta say, boys, this has been one of the more unique lineups we've ever done. We use the word unique a lot to describe the wrestler in question. I think Rick actually fits that bill. His lineup is definitely unique, though, right? I mean, we go all over the shop here, from Buddy Rose to Chrissy Cage. And everything
Jumbo Tsuruta to Perry Saturn.
Right, exactly. So, and some of the announcers we hear along the way, too. My goodness, what a journey we have ahead of us. Folks, if you haven't already and you're fired up, please smash the like button. And while I log into my Impact Plus, Bob, you take this super chat from our great friend, John Burr. Go for it, Bob.
All right. As a preamble before the model glazing and carb loading begins, 2 queries for Oracle. Oracle, what's going on with the Twitter Audi turning on Owen Hart? Let's start there.
Well, we've had some conversations about this. I find it to be a bit strange,
You were fired up.
You were fired up.
Yeah, I was a little bit upset. I mean,
A little bit.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, they acted like, he killed the business.
Yeah. Felt extreme.
Yeah. It did feel extreme. I like Owen Hart.
Yeah.
We like going here on Grin Grappler.
We do. I'd gotta say, full props to Bobby for the let's start here. What's the second question, Bob?
What's your ranking of the DVD VR Road Days matches?
So I would probably go. It's tough. Mad Dog Slade or Bosby versus I can't even remember who he wrestled, and some asshole named Dylan managed Bosby, so I should know this. But that match, but those were probably the 2 best matches. And then I really liked the Old Man Young Boy versus Angus Legstrom or whatever the fuck.
I'm not sure.
That was good. The worst match probably was the heel versus heel match because it didn't work in the building. I don't know. I can't remember all the matches.
Heel versus heel match.
Up cage match. But
Wow. All right. Thank you, John. Quick note: is you still keeping the spreadsheet? You keeping on top of the spreadsheet, or is it starting to wave behind?
Well,
Because I was worried
I'm
about
being
this.
a lot more selective now.
I thought you were, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just, dude. I didn't even watch NXT or Dynamite. There's a couple. I think I'll watch the cage match from NXT. I'll probably watch Darby and that Pretender as well. But
It's well known when you get to March, that's when the spreadsheet begins to.
yeah.
I knew there was issues when I texted Oracle a couple weeks ago, like during SmackDown. Hey man, did you see this? And he just goes, "It's on." I was like, "Oh no, oh." I think them Fryer and Road Dogg killed you off, sadly.
Oh yeah, they killed me, man.
Yeah,
He's my dad's friend.
Yeah. I love this. First time seeing Rick Martel singles matches. That's a beautiful thing to see. And with that in mind, I think you're going to, John, as we will now get to the model glazing, as you so aptly put it. I feel like Rick Martel, for such a revered, decorated professional wrestler, has hardly ever come up on this platform for any extended spell of time. And so I actually truly believe...
Talked about him in the Booker T episode, but yeah.
Yes, yeah, and that obviously, we'll circle back in terms of that part of his career, right? But, like, I really don't know the answer to the question I'm about to ask in this case, even after all these years. Everyone's fandom of Rick Martel. If there is such a thing, where you stand on him kind of historically, so on and so forth. Bobby, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I wouldn't really consider myself to have been a fan. Watching these matches really helped. I always thought, like, he was in the Legends of Wrestling games, and then he was in, like, WWE 2K18 and 19 after, like, not being in the games for a long time, and he didn't get in the Hall of Fame or anything, so it's kind of weird that he was just there. And then, really, I first got exposed to him more starting the 1993 stuff, and, he does the Scott Hall match later in the year, and then... Yeah, he's still a pretty big blind spot. Like, today helped quite a bit. Watching the WrestleManias has helped. But, yeah, there's still a lot that I have not seen from him. And, it's interesting how, like you said, kind of how little he comes up.
He feels like, there's a group of wrestlers from that era that didn't win the World Heavyweight title, and so they're on every most underrated list. And many of them, if we're being honest, are not underrated, right? Like, Kurt Hennig is not underrated. I think most people are very aware how great Kurt Hennig was. I think Rick Martel actually is underrated because it does feel like he has kind of left the smart fans' consciousness. Even like Ryan in the chat saying this was their first time seeing Rick Martel's singles matches. I don't think that's uncommon. I think the fact that Ryan watched the matches for this, if he did that, imagine how many folks have never seen any Rick Martel, right? So... it's an interesting one, Alex. Where would you stand on this? Contrarian Alex is muted, folks. It's very pivotal. One unmutes before giving their thoughts on the matter.
Hasbro, just by the way. Rick Martel. Okay, where was I? Yes. For me, Rick Martel, and every wrestling fan has one of these guys, that was the undercard guy that stuck out as a kid. Like, even someone he would say is like a perennial mid-carder, like Jake Roberts or Mr. Perfect is a good example from that time period. They still would dabble in like the main event scene on, Saturday Night's Main Event or, Perfect Wrestle Hogan or something like that. But I remember like Rick Martel, to me, he was a guy that was always like middling around, and he like won a lot too. But also a big significance for my childhood, he was the first guy to have the Iron Man record in the Royal Rumble. In the 91 Rumble, he went, I think, like close to an hour or something, and they would always like talk about that as like one of his big attributes. I remember the blindfold match being a big part of like, my first like wrestling memories, him and Jake Roberts in that blindfold match. And then yeah, just an interesting case. He was never like champion. And I talked about in the Razor Ramon episode that we did, the Scott Hall episode, that Intercontinental title match was a big like first standout from Monday Night Raw of like, holy shit. And I watched that match like on loop. I had it on tape as a kid. So someone who I have like very like vivid memories of being around when I first became conscious of this whole wacky thing. And then as time has gone on, when I've gone back and watched, AWA stuff, and we'll talk about his interesting, the fascinating admiration the Japanese audience and specifically the New Japan office have for him. But he's just a hell of a wrestler. And, I haven't seen too much of the Portland stuff, so that Buddy Rose match was a bit of a treat for me here. And then also just from the perspective of, it's clear that like he's disconnected from the bubble, and because he's not, people ask all the time why he's not in the Hall of Fame. I think he just doesn't fucking care. Like he's about to do his first convention like ever, I think is what's coming up soon. And I think when we get to the end, we're probably going to talk about how he realized he still had like significance in the game. But like, I always respected that part of it too, where he was a guy that just kind of moved on and did the next part of his life. And that is exceedingly rare in this industry, especially from that time period of guys who just kind of moved on. So a fascinating case and one hell of a wrestler. And I'm excited for us to deep dive these matches.
Yes, indeed. The Oracle of Wrestling, I do need to stress to you that currently on AMC, Mike Jackson just hit a tope. So,
alrighty, I'm turning on right now.
Yep. And any thoughts, broad thoughts on your Rick Martel fandom, so on and so forth, Oracle?
So, as I scroll down here to my YouTube TV app on the Roku TV,
play by play.
So I always sort of knew Martel as a kid when I started watching. He was just, the model Martel, Rick Martel, the heel undercard guy that I would see on, an old Coliseum video I would rent or something, or an old WrestleMania. It probably wasn't until I started to explore older wrestling that I kind of really got to appreciate him as a wrestler. Someone who was, my God, it's Mike Jackson. Someone who is very versatile and one of the better tag workers, of that generation. Really was a very great traditional babyface in Portland and in AWA. And really the peak of his career was in AWA. I mean, he was their top babyface for he was the replacement for Hulk Hogan as their top babyface, which is not talked about. He really truly was, in a lot of ways, their replacement. And he did an admirable job. I mean, he was never going to draw as much money, right? But he was a huge deal in the AWA in 84 and 85. And of course, recently and, over the years, I've seen a lot of his late 80s, early 90s WWF work. And it is true that his WCW return, which we will cover here, has been kind of the most talked about Rick Martel. I mean, I don't think Don't Have an Ad is wrong about that. I think that's kind of because it's such a bizarre in a good way type deal, but it was also tragically short because of concussions and injuries and things of that nature. But yeah, he's someone who kind of falls in line with Steamboat and Tito, who of course was his longtime tag partner in Strikeforce, as a really great perennial 80s babyface who was not talked about as often as Steamboat and Tito because people remember him more as the heel, the model Rick Martel. But as a babyface, he's one of the best in the entire decade.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
Yeah, I think there's a kind of he's slotted in a certain way by fans due to where he was slotted in the WWF that I think probably doesn't do justice how much he mattered prior to that, right? And also, and we'll get into this, and Alex, I'll pitch to you in a second. I know you had something there, but it has to be said, the way the model was then, pun intended, being a mid-card or upper mid-card guy then was very different to what it is now. In the sense that, you were in a team, a push team in the mid-80s, you were leaned on to draw houses, Yeah. It was different to being it's not even a knock, but if you're a mid-card team now, it's you're on SmackDown sometimes. It's not the same as you could be second from the top of the garden, or whatever the hell. It's just a different thing.
Yeah, the tag team with Tony Garea in '81.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the famous feud with the
Right.
Moondogs. That was probably a situation that you're pointing to where they probably were leaned on some to draw.
Yeah. I think the MSG match we do closes that show, I think. I could be wrong on that. We'll circle back. Alex, as you were saying, mate.
Well, first of all, on that, based on I saw the when someone shoots off the rope, the clock it said 10:47
Yeah.
and curfew at the Garden. I think it was 11, so that had to be the main event.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was just going to joke with Oracle as a fellow Southerner. Of course, he's a bit more in the deep South. How do you feel about a guy who talks like this being billed from Coconut Beach, Florida? That's Vince McMahon for you, baby.
Tremendous stuff.
ODB's here.
She is indeed. Mike Jackson appears to be in the top 5 workers of Total Nonstop Action, so congrats to him. We send our very best. But yeah, it's an interesting one. I was really thinking about this a lot today, and I don't know if Bobby kind of said it, and it sounds more dismissive than I intend for it, because I think Rick Martel is incredible, but I feel I would be lying if I said I consider myself a big fan. I've never really delved deeply into the Rick Martel story until this week. I've seen many Rick Martel matches. Portland less so, but I saw a lot of the AWA stuff a few years back. The WWF stuff you kind of see just inevitably, right? And so it's weird. I think he's kind of he's kind of pigeonholed by fans, I guess. What do you think?
He is. Well, in WWE canon also, his thing was the blindfold match is what they bring up. And it's as fun as that is, and we'll talk about it, that was not who he was as a professional wrestler. And, I cry out to the young wrestlers or those in training within the sound of my voice. We know you're listening, but, be more like Rick Martel and less like Shawn Michaels. That's what you should do.
No reason for it, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Now, I do think there's something said for the, Oracle kind of mapped out. He's famous for the model gimmick, but he was a defining babyface of the 80s. Mm-hmm. In that way, I do think there is a correlation with Kurt Hennig in the sense that Kurt Hennig to wrestling fans is forever known as Mr. Perfect, right? And they remember the vignettes and they remember the presentation of Mr. Perfect. I think a lot of people, and I think we kind of got to this when we did Grin Grappler, Kurt Hennig, his best work is as a babyface, I think, in the 80s. Mm-hmm. There's a real overlap there, right? Now, I don't think Mr. I don't think the model resonated historically the way Mr. Perfect. I mean, that's fair to say, right? But I think if you compare their work at their best, dude, I may lean Rick's way. I don't know, Oracle. What do you think?
They had very similar trajectories.
Yeah.
Hennig had a big run in Portland where he feuded with Buddy Rose a little bit later than because Kurt's dad Larry I think even had some stuff with Buddy Rose in the late '70s, and so Kurt went through there. He came a little bit after because I think he's a little bit younger than Martel. But he came. It was like Martel was there in Portland, then it was Hennig. Then Martel was in AWA, then Hennig became the top babyface. And then Martel went to WWE, and then Hennig came, shortly after him, about 2 years after Martel did. It's just an interesting, I think it's a really good comparison. And I think that not to dive too deep into this, but in terms of that comparison, I think Martel's overall body of work in terms of how long he stayed really good, I actually think he's
pretty comfortably clear.
Yeah. He might win that one
because he turns pro way sooner.
He was awfully good.
Oh,
from '86 to '88. I mean, just an absolutely terrific wrestler. But Martel overall was just excellent from '79 to
'98.
Really. I mean,
it's wild.
I'd probably be a bit more Kurt than you guys. No pun intended. I think Martel clears that. No fault of Hennig's own, but you don't think of any excellent tag work from the catalog of Kurt Hennig. No.
I guess the biggest differences would be Kurt has the chance to do the cool Kurt Hennig heel run outside, whereas when Martel turns heel in the ref, that's like his first go of being heel. It was never even something they needed to do. And the other big difference would be, as you just kind of alluded to, it's big for Martel's WWF catalog that he has the babyface tag work. That's big because that's him really in his element. Like, he does fun stuff as the model, but that isn't actually who he was as a worker, right? That's just the gimmick people remember the most because it was so, flamboyant and over the top and fun. It's an interesting one, very, very interesting one to kind of consider. And the reason I brought that up was not to disparage Kurt Hennig. We covered him on this very program, but I think if you ask most wrestling fans, I think Kurt Hennig would win that poll 90-10.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's in line with the truth necessarily, right? Which is interesting.
And to tie them together, because I'm so obsessed with this show, like it comes to mind, the Wrestling Summit, they tagged together to take on Jumbo Tsuruta and King Haku.
Which I think is actually one of the more fun matches on that show, to be honest with you, as an actual match, because some of the undercard stuff on that show is pure just like novelty in it. It's not like, I remember, from what I recall about that one, Haku is like a low-key good babyface in peril at the Tokyo Dome, from what I recall, which is with more Haku talk coming up, of course. But, to the prior Oracle point, Martel turned around 73, so he was definitely earlier in than Hennig was. I had no idea until this week that his brother was a wrestler. That's how he got into the business, was someone got pulled out of a card and his brother just put Rick in. I had no idea his brother, who actually I believe passed away in the ring when Rick was young.
I think Rick was another thing that I really want to explore now that we're kind of he was like a big deal in the Montreal territory in the 80s, 70s and 80s. And apparently some of that stuff was like outstanding.
Oh, I bet.
And like I really, and him and also the Rougeos were really good there too, from what I understand. So that's another thing that I just kind of wanted to throw out there. That I'm aware of. That just reminded me of that, because I think the thing with his brother kind of jump started that with me. But I'm with you. I mean his resume is a lot deeper than people really consider. Or even realize, I think.
Yeah.
You ever watch the 98 Montreal house show match where Hogan gets rolled up by Jacques Rougeau?
Oh, yeah. I think that's 97, but yes.
Oh,
thank
shit.
you.
There you go.
He was Hollywood. I remember that much, all right?
Thinking, hey, that's me getting back at you for the you're a noggy, a rock bottom.
That's like 2 years ago.
I'm like Michael Jordan, I hold a grudge.
I'm like Michael Jordan, quote of the show. You look at the damn education these guys would have, dude. Like, he works everywhere. He works in New Zealand, Hawaii, Japan, Puerto Rico, obviously stuff in Canada. He's just... It's crazy to imagine that as like the amount of matches he probably had by 1980 when we first meet him on this show. He's probably had so many matches in front of so many different crowds. It's just impossible to even replicate that. As mentioned, gets a big push in Portland, including a very notable match with Harley Race, in which put some time in, which I've seen years back, which I remember being very, very fun. And then we'll get to our first matchup here, entering Act 1. A match that honestly is really at the end of this run for Martel, because the following week they actually set up with this match a loser leaves town match, which he's about to lose, and head up to New York. So this is right at the tail end of that Portland run. No DQ, 2 out of 3 falls. Oracle's beloved Buddy Rose. Oracle and Bruce Pritchard, they share that, it seems. August 9th, 1980. Oracle, I'll go straight to you because it is Buddy Rose after all. As great as Rick Martel is here, and he is great, man, it's hard not to be great when Buddy's in form like this. The way he's bumping, everything about his performance here. Go for it.
Just Buddy Rose is amazing. The whole Portland was only recently explored in the last 15 years, because the story goes is when Buddy passed, he had a lot of footage in his garage or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember all the details. I'm probably messing things up, but like there's details about Portland wrestling footage and like Buddy Rose having a lot of it, and then like after he passed, it kind of got like finally was kind of just given out to the the universe sort of, and so it's a very unique promotion. The 2 out of 3 falls is like all like they do this that's their forte, but it's not your typical 2 out of 3 falls. They take breaks between the falls. They go to the back. You know, they like it's very. There's almost an adjustment to it in a way.
Yeah.
But the way that they present it is it's so well done. Gotta love Don Owen, man.
Yes.
You know, he's up there. You know,
What about the line?
This
where
is a
it's
2 out of 3 fall match.
What about the line, Oracle?
Qualification.
Where
We
it's-
we got to have. We decided that these guys and the situation going on here that we can't have any disqualification.
and he's over here. Of course, our good friend Lost posted a video of him announcing a Mexican death match at one point, and he goes, "It's a Mexican death match, some sort of street fight of some kind, I suppose." But
he has the line here about kids learn your scientific wrestling, you'll get hurt. Kids.
Find a coach.
That's right. That's right. Klein.
Our sponsors are the reason that this is on TV.
Donovan, legitimately, if you read up on him, the most beloved promoter maybe in the history of wrestling. So beloved that when he's asked Roddy Piper to work a show for him, and there was like maybe a potential like scheduling dispute, Roddy said "fuck off" to Vince and was like, "I'm working this show for Don Owen." Yeah, just the whole presentation is just like reminding me. So I got like a Buddy Rose comp when I graduated high school as a graduation present.
Superb.
Because that's what nerds get for their graduation present is a Buddy Rose compilation. And I just obsessively watched it. And this whole rivalry is outstanding. They have some tag matches and singles matches all throughout 1980. They're just terrific. This is a great one. Buddy Rose has the mask and the wig and all that stuff on. Just the way that he paces the match and his timing, the way they build each fall, every fall, even like the second one, which is like 5 minutes, feels more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Really great psychology where Martel, this guy can do hella back work. We see it a few times. Always sets up his Quebec crab really well. Great back work here. Awesome setup with the where Buddy crotches him onto the turnbuckle for the win there. And then of course the payback spot at the end of the match. It's so. Correct me if I'm wrong. Buddy crotches him in the first fall, and then Martel crotches him in the third, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
That's where he gets the first fall. Yeah.
Bear with me. It's been about a day and a half, but and of course I classically don't take notes.
Classically, yes.
Classically.
That's the word for it. Classically.
Classically. but yeah,
You're correct.
This match is awesome. Of course, you have like the interludes with the Piper promo in between and stuff. It's basically like a whole episode of Portland TV. But based depending on the clip that you watched it from. But great match. And really, this shows you, as Joe pointed out, how good Martel was at the start of the decade in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. How great is the thing where at the start of each fall they like box?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Don actually calls it like that. Like the boxing's not going so well.
Buddy does the fucking Ali shuffle at one point.
he goes 1-0 up in the to every falls and comes out with the Ali shuffle and immediately just gets the shit kicked out and he's like, oh damn it. Oh, it's so good. It is so good. Bobby, I'm gonna presume you are not an aficionado when it comes to Portland wrestling, nor am I, to be clear. What did you make of this one?
Yeah, I thought this was a hell of a time. I'm really glad we started here. A couple things early on. Buddy Rose is tapping out, but submissions aren't invented yet, so it's fine. It's not a fall. I liked how they did trade, how they beat each other on I think it was first and third or second and third falls, whatever it was. I know Martel does a Frankensteiner for one of the falls too, which was something I was not expecting. Crowd loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It just, and I like how they break it up through the show too. I thought that was a really interesting way to do that.
So many ways to format wrestling, and sometimes I think the monotony of how it's done now, you forget that, right? Like you could absolutely do this today, by the way, 100%. You have listen. People would suggest otherwise, but I'm confident in this. There is absolutely talent that you could lean on to have a match of this cadence. It may not have the exact same ingredients or heat, but you could do it, no question. You could format it this way. Get some Roddy Piper promo in between. That's a beautiful thing, right? That's a beautiful thing. I love it. Contrarian Alex, what did you make of our first match here?
Yeah, that Piper promo was awesome.
Yeah,
they wrapped a clothes hanger around my throat. Yeah, tremendous stuff. This is great. Rick Martel was always a handsome boy. I mean, this was before he'd kind of caught on to grooming. He's got those fucking Noel Gallagher eyebrows in this match, man, where he looked like fucking two caterpillars crawling across his face. You guys nailed a lot of this so far. I do have boxing in all caps with the exclamation point. Something about these first two matches, I'll just go ahead and call out. There's no it's not that there's no wasted movement. There's no end to the movement from Rick Martel as a babyface. He's always struggling and always trying to get the upper hand he's trying to find a counter. And if he doesn't have one, he's thinking of what the next step is. And that is on clear display in our next match. But man, what a fucking just outstanding worker. And, we're in the Northwest and this crowd it's a bunch of little girls chanting, "We love Rick, we love Rick." And like, he goes outside, he powders at one point, and like world class, a girl runs up to him with like a program and a pen trying to get an autograph. And he I don't know, but he kind of like doesn't brush her aside. He's like, "Maybe later." I don't know what he says to her, but like he just kind of ushers her away. And at one point he's referred to as the French Rocket. And I was like, all right, that didn't stick, but we'll take it. Buddy, I was waiting all match for Buddy to do a trademark, the Buddy Rose pumping arms and fists running spot, and he does it with the Brett fucking sternum buckle bump. Like he just runs right into it. And yeah, that Buddy Rose, hell of a worker. I didn't get that for my high school graduation. I got CZW Best of the Best 4 and Cage of Death 6 was my high school graduation. And like Bob called it out. I audibly like reacted to a fucking Frankensteiner 1980. Like, does damage to the narrative that Scott Steiner invented that move, but it's the only person I would say that's a lie to, or I wouldn't say that's a lie to, is Scott Steiner, because he would probably kill me. Rick, you can tell he knows it's not entirely sportsmanlike the way he wins, but he's like, fuck it, this guy did it to me, so I'm going to do it to him too. And he pins him and reacts like he just won a real athletic contest, which is always a nice thing to see. And then the promo, for those who stuck around afterwards, is, that quintessential babyface fire. But he also, like, he says, "I'm gonna kill him if I have to." Like, just the way they, like, how seriously they're taking these matches. It's awesome. And then Buddy keeps coming back like an Austin Powers character. He's like, no. He's like, "I'm the best. I've been here the whole time." A fantastic match. And like you said, it's more of the way perverts like us watch this, watching how like the show was formatted around it. It's like, it's such a novelty in this day and age, much like the WrestleMania we watched the other day, where there wasn't like a 6-minute commercial in between every match. It's like, oh yeah, you could structure a show like this if you wanted to.
You did get a shirt for Rocky Johnson, so
we did.
He had that awesome old man build where his arms were jacked as fuck but had the little titties. Like it was
interesting. Yeah.
But no, this is a great match. Rick Martel is fantastic. I mean, we've talked about Buddy before. Just unbelievable worker. And Rick, they had really good chemistry. They really click here.
This is a completely useless sidebar, but Scott Steiner came up, so I'm going to share it here among friends. A pal of mine gave me the StarCast set from Triller. You remember the week of All In, the original All In? Comrade had that big StarCast where it was the all those events, the live podcast with this guy, that guy, StarCast. Everyone was there, right? And there was a TNA panel. Okay. And I am proud to say that Scott Steiner managed to work me in a panel because I was doing something and it was on. And Scott was talking about Hulk Hogan and he called Dixie Carter a douchebag. He said, I don't like to use that word, but I'll call her what she is. I went, and then he said, he's in the middle of a story, right? He's like, and then we did a pay-per-view in Philly and Hulk Hogan, Bobby Roode's going to win the world title. And Hulk Hogan says, Bobby Roode's not ready. And in the middle of his story, he goes, what the? Stands up, jumps off the stage, grabs Jarrett's guitar, and sprints to the curtain yelling, you fat piece of shit, you fat son of a bitch. I thought, oh my God, Scott Steiner's lost his mind in 2018. How did I not know this? It apparently was the whole thing was a bit because he was like working some sort of angle with Conrad Thompson. I couldn't believe it. He worked me on a fucking StarCast panel. So I wanted to just acknowledge that here in front of friends. But I mean, I got to clip this thing. It was outrageous. He literally leaps off the stage and grabs Jeff's guitar and runs off. He scared the fuck out of me, dude.
Quickly, since we're here, the original All In, one of my favorite stories of that was, I think he thought he was going to get booked for the show, and God bless him, but PCO didn't get booked, so he just got like booth space at All In and was just having Destro like hit cinder blocks with a sledgehammer on his chest and shit. He was just doing his strength display.
Last couple notes on this Buddy Rose Rick Martel match. When Buddy goes to the throat, Martel's sell is so Steamboat, dude. So Steamboat. Like, because Ricky could get away with some very theatrical sells, right? Exactly, like the hands and the way we do. I actually saw a bit of it. I mentioned it when we were watching WrestleMania 13, Alex. Like, Austin actually used a little bit of that with the fingers, right? He worked with Steamboat a lot, obviously. But it's very, very Steamboat. And that's a natural comp for where Rick is here in the 80s. Yeah, so much good stuff. The crowd reaction when he goes for the mask is like, my God. Yeah, tremendous stuff. Love this. Just love watching the way the action's presented. I think it's fascinating. You can learn so much from this. And I'd love to see some of these old school sensibilities just brought back to the under the spotlight. I think there's some room for that. You don't have to change the action on it. It's the way you frame and talk about the action, I think. Like, the way they wrestle and the way that there's room to put over like what both guys are trying to achieve. That in itself was something you could steal, like there's room for that.
I just got reminded of another Don Owen thing because I know they have a Lizard Leaves Town match later on. Mm-hmm. There's one Lizard Leaves Town match that Buddy has sometime in the 80s, and Don Owen goes, I'm tired of these Loser Leave Town matches. I can't afford them anymore. I got bills to pay. I got buildings to pay for.
Well, I love it. Just to close on the Don Owen point, like, because I was trying to think of it the whole time and I had to Google it. You were talking about Roddy Piper. His allegiance was so strong to Don Owen that Don Owen promoted a WCW house show in Portland in '89 with a Sting Ric Flair match that Piper was the guest referee for. He took that booking like while he was in the WWF.
My God.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's I wish, are there any good like books or documentaries about Portland wrestling that we know of? Because I would love to read a book about Portland wrestling.
Sure, I find it to be one of the most interesting territories.
So do I, and especially because I'm not educated on it. Like don't get me wrong, I love reading about Florida or Crockett or wherever else, but I wish I knew more about it. So if anyone has any insight on that, please clue us in. As mentioned, Loser Leaves Town. The week afterwards, Rick Martel was headed to New York to work for Vince Sr. He and Tony Greer as a tag team, which is that's a serious run. We can't overstate that. That's a run. He is eventually lured to the AWA, I believe, by Nick Bockwinkel, who was looking for, that's like the perfect kind of opponent for Bock, right? Like a whammy babyface. Martel, who in all of his kind of conduct comes across like a very classy character, was not too impressed by the human being that was Vern Gagne. Especially by comparison to Vince Sr. He was not a huge fan of the human being Vern.
Well, Ricky, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna send you. I'm gonna have you give me 100%.
I'll tell you right now, you'll come up to the house and we'll have some chops, and then we'll talk money.
Maybe work out with some of this dino powder. Yeah.
He specifically told the story on his one shoot interview, which is worth a look. Some clips of it online. he tells the infamous story about when Vern tries to like fight Hulk Hogan, where he says to him like, "You think you're a tough guy?" and Hulk like puts him in a front headlock or something, and
That's
all
the one
boys
where
are just
immortally Hulk Hogan used the phrase "crankarooski" on Jericho's podcast. He said, Vern shot a double leg, dude. Just grabbed him under the chin, little crankarooski. Went to sleep, brother.
I don't think any of us are in the business of World Wrestling Federation or Vince McMahon propaganda, but you'll sometimes see people talk about some of these old promoters, not all. We just talked, glowingly about Don Owen, but they'll be like, what he did to Vern, and it's like, don't cry for Vern, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no heroes in stories like that, mate. They're just, as a friend of ours once said, wrestling is about people being owned and doing the owning, plain and simple. I need to shout this out. Katie Bar the Door, History of Portland Wrestling by Mike Rogers. Okay.
hell yeah.
Beautiful. I'm going to keep that started.
Or that's what Frank Bonham used to say. He was the commentator in the
I'm going to, if I can follow up on this, I'll review this still because this sounds very, very interesting. So we'll keep everyone updated. Okay, so he beats Jumbo Tsuruta in 1984 for the AWA belt. He was actually flirting with a move to New York then, back to New York, before he was told they were planning on putting the belt on him, which I thought was interesting. Like, he'd have got even, earlier he'd have been there. But I think it's great he did have that run because he's the world's champion for like 18, 19 months, I think. Like, it's so... Yeah. It's
This
like,
match with Jumbo is like an anniversary of when he beat him or something, right? It's like a year and a half
I
or
think
something.
so. This match, this reign, I should say, also includes a pretty famous champion versus champion match with Flair in Japan, right? Which was a huge deal. And it's just so important we stress that. Champion versus champion, Flair Martel in Japan. This isn't like Rick Martel was some kind of understudy. He's going in that as a world champion. The Japanese audience sees him as, that guy, right? He's the real deal.
They like the AWA title was legit to that Japanese audience. Like they viewed that as a real belt. Did he like his at large? His AWA run's a bit of a kind of unknown to me. Did he draw?
So, I know Oracle, you may have more on this. From what I understand, the reason this is a run that's kind of swelled over time is that at the time there was so much debate about his qualifications because they were struggling. Now, I think with the benefit of hindsight, firstly, as fans now, we just observe the work, right? We're not coming through gate receipts. But I also think we can see that they were just kind of set to go where they were going to go.
Yeah.
The belief, I've seen Greg talk about this, who's a very honest fellow. He said that he just felt, as great as Rick was in the ring, he was too dry for where wrestling was going to be the top baby face.
Probably true, actually.
I think there's probably truth to that. Yeah, I mean, we're here to celebrate the guy's work, but I do think if you look at the wrestling that's emerging in the mid-'80s, he probably was a 70s top babyface, right? Like, I think a supporting babyface, definitely. The top babyface, I don't know. So I think that's why this is a reign that's kind of like us nerds are more into than the historians,
If I'm not mistaken, I remember when Jerry Blackwell was a heel at the time, he had big feuds with that like drew very well. But I don't think he and Martel really ever crossed paths.
I think he works with Michael Hayes.
Drew very well.
Yes.
Road Warriors drew very well in 84 and 85.
He does a program with Michael Hayes, doesn't he? Martel was in the AW, I want to say. I've seen that. Yeah.
Because I know he has, of course, he wrestles Bach all over the fucking place. And Jumbo a bunch too, obviously, as we're about to talk about. But he also wrestles Hanson some.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. They have that famed brawl, don't they? It's what show is that? The stadium show they run. Where it's an unfortunate crowd. They do that like crazy brawl, Hanson and Martel.
In 85, right?
Yeah. I was just looking at some of the names he worked with.
Right? Super Clash, right?
Yes, there you go. I'm looking at some of the names he worked with here. Kamala, Terry Goldie, Jimmy Garvin.
Crocker Blackwell and Bruiser Brody had a feud, I think, in 84-85 that drew very well. I think Brody was the babyface in that feud, if I'm not mistaken.
That Super Clash was at Comiskey Park, man.
It's crazy.
Or maybe that was after Blackwell turned face. I don't know. Sorry, I'm talking out
One thing
loud.
that's interesting for what we're doing here and where we're about to go, he actually works with Haku King Tonga as AWA champ, which is fun for where we're about to go, when we head to New York, right? So, yeah, it's an interesting one. I think it's kind of one that nerds like us are more a fan of than people were at the time, because it's like we're just watching the matches going, fuck, he was so good,
Yeah.
And I also think, I don't know how you guys feel about this, I think losers like us can find a great deal of appeal to AWA because it's kind of like the last stand of that whole vibe for wrestling in the States, to be honest. Like, Stan Hansen tells the stories. When he was working AWA as the champ, he would get to TV and the format would just be 21 like get-over matches. And he'd say to Vern and Greg, like, guys, we need to do stuff to shake up. And that's just not how... It was very conservative, wasn't it? It was very, like, just, chip away, steady pro wrestling. And I think when AWA, the demise comes, it's kind of... That's the end of that wrestling television, right? I mean, they were kind of... time had passed them by, I suppose, is the easiest way to put it. It's an interesting topic, I think.
That Wrestle Rock 86 show is so, like, it's such a fascinating thing to look at in hindsight. It's like a concession of Vern being like, all right, well,
yeah,
we'll try what these other guys are doing, but it was, it was already too late.
It's basically him going, you like this stuff, huh? You like it? Right. Cool.
Just one last thing from the former champ Vern.
Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah, Jumbo Tsuruta. That's where we're headed to next, right?
Tommy.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to talk. I mean, there's so much to discuss here. The presentation. Oh my goodness, there's so much to get into. September 29th, 1985. Jumbo Tsuruta, Rick Martel. This is in the midst of that aforementioned title reign. Martel talked about when he first worked with Tsuruta, the experience of a guy who didn't really speak English, and they didn't talk at all until they got out there and just like going. And from what I recall, the title change match is not a home run. This is way better than the title change match, from what I recall. Here you can sense they've got some chemistry, and they've really kind of figured out their dynamic. This is, and it's funny, the narrative sometimes about the way these matches from yesteryear look, and guys would just sit in a headlock, which is all we all roll our eyes at. But dude, this match is like pretty high pace, especially with respect to Jumbo Tsuruta. This is like hell for leather for a Jumbo Tsuruta world title match, isn't it? Like there's a lot of action and momentum shifts. And there's also some very funny commentary, as is tradition. Contrarian Alex, take us to the AWA.
The ABA, the AWA, the ABA is no longer here, dude. God bless him. Rod Trongard commentates this match like when I get too drunk and play No Mercy and commentate my own matches that I have on that game. Like that's the level of commentary that we're dealing with here.
And we have to stress, Alex, he actually does what Alex just said there. He says the ABA, he corrects himself, and then does a sentence or two explaining the ABA as a thing that used to exist.
We like when I watched a lot of AWA many years ago, that was like a great topic, was about him. When I listen to Laps fans AWA journey and their Rod Trongard, it's like
the one I always remember is I'm Rod Trongard, and I've often wondered what it would be like to eat an airplane. But he does have this call. Jumbo hits like a thick fucking kitchen sink on Rick, and Rod just goes, ooh. Like he can feel it in his seat. And I guess it's the Minnesota boys, because Rod calls him Ricky, and here in a couple matches, Jesse calls him Ricky too. Old Ricky Martel. I guess that was the thing they did there.
Rod Trongard called him that all the time in AWA. Yeah. Trust me, all the fucking time.
Rod also, at one point, he says that Rick Martel's Irish, and then immediately corrects himself and says, no, French Canadian. About the match itself, though, this match is, to your point, Joe, awesome. And my Jumbo experience is limited because, as much as I appreciate how popular he was and how much of a force he was, his matches, by and large, the big ones I've seen don't do a whole lot for me. The Misawa one, where he puts Misawa over is fucking awesome. But this encapsulates kind of what we're talking about with the AWA, but also the whole professional wrestling as an athletic contest motif. That part, it looks so sick, dude. When Rick misses the knee drop and he just drives his knee into the mat. And so Jumbo immediately gets up and spinning toe hold, puts him in a figure four. Rod says something like, Indian Deathlock or figure four, take your pick, whatever you'd like, you know. He hits a devastating Saito suplex on Martel at one point in this. Martel starts working his comeback and he tries to do a from the outside in slingshot splash and lands on his face. It's fucking outstanding. There's a part too where Rick's working his comeback, just open hand fucking slaps, and he's just piecing up Jumbo. And Jumbo's selling in this sequence is just, dude, there's a part in this match where it becomes like artistry, like the way that the two guys are moving with each other. And, you know, I'm not going to say this is the greatest match I've ever seen, but there's parts of this that it's like, yep, that's what it can be. Yep. That's what you can achieve if you dedicate yourself to this. And what I was saying in the last match, constant movement and constant effort by Rick Martel trying to get the upper hand and trying to win, you know, not just trying to do the next move. And he pulls it off in the end, and then Jumbo, either in an act of unsportsmanlike conduct or he just can't believe that the match is over, it sends him off the ropes and hits his legendary high knee on him. A mixed bag of comedy and great professional wrestling, you know?
Yes, it's I understand why, and I actually think this is beast, but we do need to stress that this is a match that's clipped for TV. So, like, the ABA line lives, like, in post, which is godly, right? Like, now, I get it. Like, and again, I actually think it's kind of awesome to just go, fuck it, man, he misspoke. You know, it is what it is. Like, but it is funny, the idea of, like, going to the efforts of clipping a match for TV time, having Greg with the little green screen behind him pitch to it, and still leaving in the line where he calls it the ABA and then explains himself for 30 seconds. A thing that used to exist, no longer. Now this is the AWA. Bobby, what did you make of this one?
I thought this one was a lot of fun, too. You know, obviously, whenever we get...
Yes?
Oh, fuck.
Oracle, in the meantime, tremendous shirt, by the way, Contrarian Alex. Tremendous shirt.
Oh, thank you.
You notice there's a thing that people don't even remember happened now? It's kind of nuts, right?
Please wait.
Kind of nuts.
Please hold.
You know...
Oh, I know what's coming here.
Bobby, your fan seems to just be in mind. Oh, my God. Is that a Blu-ray?
Is that stuff legally accessible anymore? Like, oh, that's even more valuable, that Blu-ray now.
Yeah, the entire tournament, as well as the bracketology special that
baby,
Corey Graves did. I don't know if it's available anywhere.
Yeah, it's interesting. Bob? Okay, fair enough. Oh, Bobby looks defeated. No, I can't have that on these airwaves. He looks too sad. I have to take him off. Oracle, what did you make of this one?
This match is pretty great. I forgot that it was slightly joined in progress.
Yeah. Apparently, it's only the first 2 minutes.
This was a match that I first saw many moons ago when I watched a lot of AWA, and it holds up. The two spots that really stand out to me were, of course, Alex mentioned the missing the launching splash that Martel always did and landing on his face, which was holy shit level.
Yeah.
But there was a really awesome counter that he made. I can't remember what movie countered Jumbo with into a backslide for a near fall, and it was fucking awesome. But yeah, this match is great. These guys had really good chemistry, actually. And this match is kick ass. And in some ways was kind of my favorite match of the whole deal.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten how good this match was. And then of course you had the addition of Rod Trodgard just being absolutely glorious on commentary. Probably my favorite like 80s commentator who wasn't good, but like is like still better than like 90% of commentary today. He's also good in WWF in the late 80s as well. Just in terms of like, I'm Rod Trodgard and I'm going to,
He is. Ravens on TNA.
My God.
Excellent point. I have to add, this was like the presentation of this compared to what the ref was doing. I can see why the boys were looking over there going, blimey, you know, like how just raw ingredients is this, Oracle? Like you just cut to the ring, it's kind of dark in there. Like, I actually love it, but you can see why people were kind of swept up in the vivid imagery elsewhere. This is just pro wrestling, which I'm fine by me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Bobby, how are you?
Are we good?
I think we're good, mate.
Okay.
I think we're good. Did you like this one?
Yeah, it was fun. Alex really pointed out the part I like the most when Martel goes for the knee drop and then Jumbo moves and then just focuses on the knee for the next like 4 minutes and it kind of turns the whole match around. Martel's got to hit the crossbody at the end, just kind of out of desperation. I thought, yeah, it was awesome.
It was. You made the Grinners very sad, Bobby. You looked very defeated there as your internet failed you. You need to revisit the tape on that one. It was a very sad sight, wasn't it, Oracle? Very sad sight indeed. Yeah, but I'm glad you're back. It was, if nothing else, it was funny, which is the most important thing in my book. As was the ABA. As mentioned, Stan Hansen is next up for the AWA World Title. He beats Rick Martel and ends that extended reign. Didn't go
I have
great.
a list of a lot of match recommendations from the AWA that I will just list out if you would like.
Please do. Yes, absolutely.
So here we go. An early Strikeforce pairing from the early 80s when Rick first came to AWA. Tito Santana and Rick Martel versus the High Flyers from August 29th, 1982.
Wow.
I cannot stress enough. Phenomenal match.
I bet.
Outstanding. Let's see here.
I had no idea that match happened.
What's that?
I had no idea that match happened. That's fascinating.
It's incredible.
Wow.
One of the all-time great finishes of the 80s, too. Let's see. We have versus Bockwinkel from March 13th, 83. There will be a lot of Bockwinkel matches I can reference, but, we can't have too much Nick Bockwinkel.
True.
Let's see here. Versus Bach again from December 8th, 83. Versus Jumbo from May 13th, 84. That might have been the title change.
I think so. May 84, that makes sense, yeah.
Let's see here. Versus Bach again from August 16th, 84. Oh, this match was a divisive one when a lot of folks were watching these AWA matches way back when. Rick Martel versus Brad Rangans from September 9th, 1984. Really great babyface versus babyface match. Outstanding stuff. Versus Bockwinkel again from September 20th, 84. Let's see here. Versus Jimmy Garvin from March 7th, 85.
Wow.
He does have a big feud with the Freebirds throughout all of 85, Joe. So there's the answer for that. Versus Bach again from March 28th, 85.
Damn.
We have, this match is awesome. Versus Mr. Saito from April 24th, 85.
Hell yeah.
We have versus Bach again from July 19th, 1985. That tells you, I've listed, 6 Bach matches?
Yeah.
6 Bach matches?
Yeah.
Their chemistry was great. Versus Terry Bam Bam Gordy from August of 85. Just August. No particular date from August, just August 85. There's a Buddy Roberts match that's clipped from June of 85. Of course, the Jumbo match we just discussed and watched. There is a cage match, which is actually very good against Boris Zukov, of all people, from November 14th, 85. And a match that is absolutely must-see and a total bomb fest, but super fun, against Harley Race at Wrestle Rock on April 20th, 1980.
That match is fun. Yeah, that match is fun.
I just want to throw all those.
Yeah, please do.
Yep, but that's all of them. And then right after that, he eventually I think he goes back to Montreal in '86 actually, and works a lot of Montreal in '86, and then goes to WWF in '87, I believe.
I think he was like bought into the territory a little bit. I think. Yeah, it's an interesting one. To go back to that Kurt Hennig parallel we were kind of drawing there. It's fun that it's kind of entirely in line with what we described earlier. That he has all these great matches with Bockwinkel, but Hennig has the 60-minute match, which is more famous than any of those matches, right?
Mhm.
But in quantity, Martel probably wins that race. It's kind of exactly a good metaphor for what we had.
To answer
Grin-wise.
to answer Don't Have an Ads question, I don't love a lot of the Tony Gurria tag matches, to be honest, but the Moondogs matches are very fun, and there's one or two of them that are very entertaining,
Yep.
and would probably scratch a lot of people's itches. So
Some love for some of the other Buddy Rose stuff too. When I looked it up,
Oh,
there was
yeah,
like
the
so
Buddy
many
Rose
matches of
is
theirs that
tremendous.
tremendous stuff. The Stan Hansen AWA title run, for anyone not familiar, is not a great success. It actually ends hilariously with Stan destroying the belt before sending it back to his friends at the AWA. There is that stop go in the middle, I believe, but of course Rick Martel is headed to the WWF, and I think with Oracle there, I think we've covered the matches of note, right? I think that's perfect. We're good to move into the WWF, or back to the WWF, I should say, back to New York. And originally, that's with Tom Zank. Can-Am Connection.
That's right, Can-Am.
Yep.
Very
And
good tag team, actually. Very good tag team.
they actually the Islanders feud starts with Zank as his partner.
Correct. In the summer of '87. Yep.
And there's all sorts of money disputes, and Rick Martel doesn't really bury anyone, but he fucking buries Tom Zank. He talks about like he just didn't get it. He was upset about his money. He didn't understand how much of a spot he was in, which, in fairness, far be it from me to pick sides in these things, but that would kind of be the reputation that followed the Z-Man in the years that were like, he kind of got a rep as like being a guy that I think people got frustrated with, right? Because he had the tools to be more than he was.
Favorites, the Z-Man.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, he'll come up a lot on the WCW draft. You guys will see saying a lot. I mean a lot. But yeah, it's honestly forgotten the Zank team and how good that team was because of how great Strikeforce are, right? And so mid-Islanders feud, Zank leaves, and then they do a thing, they do an angle where like Santana makes a save off commentary in August of '87. And so our match is like a couple months into Strikeforce, dude. And they're closing the garden, and it's crazy. So, WWF on MSG Network, we've talked about these, just how fascinating these shows are that they existed, and how these are in some ways the most real look at what the WWF was at the time than like, the occasional pay-per-view or any of that good stuff. The Islanders, opposite, Strikeforce, October 16th, 1987, 2 out of 3 Falls main event. Gorilla Monsoon and the aforementioned Nick Bockwinkel on commentary. Bockwinkel was not a natural fit on commentary, but it's fascinating to just listen to him try and figure it out alongside Gorilla. It's very, very interesting. I thought this match was outstanding. I had seen this before because I'd watched some of the Strikeforce stuff a few years back. The amount they get done in this 10 minutes or so is genuinely like staggering, I think. The heat, the way the match is structured in the sense that the 2 out of 3 falls, while I don't think it needs 2 out of 3 falls, what they basically do is you work a traditional tag and use the falls to like add some sparkle to that outline, right? So like the heat continues through falls. Is tremendous. Bobby, what did you make of our trip to MSG?
Yeah, I thought it ruled. They got the classic entrance all the way from the back, which is always fun. They kind of just get going right away. We get Gorilla talking about the hard heads of the Polynesians. We get him suggesting the tag matches should have 2 referees, so he's really playing all the hits. Islanders do a really good job cutting the ring in half and keeping Tito in, not letting Rick tag in. And, that ends up working out for him even more because, Rick tries to get in, the Islanders do the double team, and that's the first fall. And then, eventually they do get to the part where Rick gets in and does an incredible hot tag, and they build to for quite some time. And he comes in, he's crazy, people go crazy, and we get the finish shortly after that, and it's a lot of fun. I think they've got about 12 or 13 minutes. So they really have to kind of pack it in there, a lot like the first match to an extent. But they did a great job.
I'm going to stick with you here, Bob, for a second. Do you have any advice for someone that's enjoying this program thus far?
Yeah, you go ahead and smash that like button.
There you go. Beautiful. Thank you, Bobby. I got to say, Haku is a favorite. He almost was the topic for this show, wasn't he? We all love Haku. Meng. He is another case, though, of like, we all remember, and like, I remember it, I'll talk myself. I remember early 90s, yes, but like my memory of Haku most vivid is him like walking out on a nitro and beating the fuck out of someone for 4 minutes. And, you do forget the way he feeds for the babyfaces here and bumps and his energy and his athleticism. He was like, I think he's actually someone who's so famed for his lore as a tough guy that he's probably understated as actually a worker in his physical prime when he was young. Oracle, before I even got you on the full match, is kind of taken for granted, right? He could fucking move back then, dude.
Oh, listen, man. Haku King Tonga in the 80s, really good worker, man. Really fucking good. Hadn't put on all that weight. And obviously when he got bigger and became like badass Ming and Haku, it was awesome. But like this guy could move around and just the way he could just bump and feed and pace and he could still throw. I mean, he and Martel, listen, I've watched all these matches recently, this feud recently, in the last year, and he and Martel in particular would beat the ever living fuck out of each other in these matches. And they do that here. And I'm reminded actually of another Haku match from AWA, the Sergeant Slaughter cage match. It's a 2-on-3 cage. I can't remember who's all. I think Blackwell might be in it too, but that is a all-time 80s classic, must see. From I believe March of '85.
Interesting.
This match is awesome. Tito Santana puts on a hell of a Tito performance, sells the leg wonderfully. Awesome hot crowd. Always love the finish where you get the pin and the flying tackle forearm or whatever. Right after the 3. Awesome visual, great pop. Absolutely love this match. This is a match that I've seen a few times in the last year and just still hits home every time. Great match. I think probably the best match of the feud.
So much has been made of, the WWF's relationship with tag teams. They had serious tag team depth in the mid-'80s, didn't they? They had, differing tag team feuds, which is honestly something I think you could genuinely go as far as say, post that era, they have basically never done, just tag team feuds at the rate they, ever again, basically, right? Because now if it's a tag team feud, the belts are on the line. They have to be. Otherwise, it's not a tag team feud. It's really remarkable to look back on how big a deal this feels. Again, this is why I kind of stress so much about the, mid-card, we use that word, dude, the crowd's reaction to this stuff is main event level. Let's be clear. I mean, they explode for the hot tag. There's just so much heat at MSG. It is electrifying stuff. Absolutely love this match. Alex, what did you make of this one, mate? You are muted. I warn you now.
Yes, great match. I especially enjoyed the Gorilla and Heenan hosting, so that the interstitials were Gorilla grilling Heenan about why aren't you doing better? So girls in cars. I saw that mentioned somewhere in the chat. Girls in cars. I remember when I was a kid renting a tape that would have had something from this era and only knowing Arriba and the model and my mind being blown that they were a tag team. Then watching WrestleMania 5 and learning what all happened. But anyway, this match is great. And Haku, exactly to your point, his reputation overshadows how good of a wrestler he was. And the Tonga Kid was also fucking fantastic. I believe it's a Tonga Kid that takes that pull-out bomb from the corner where he goes fucking 8 feet in the air and falls down. That's so awesome. Yeah, to your point, you guys have kind of said it all, but it's tag team wrestling is not. I don't understand why the World Wrestling Federation has found it so hard to promote for going on 40 years now overall. And you watch a match like this, and you're exactly right. The crowd buys this as a main event match, man, and they're not reacting to these guys like they're Hulk Hogan, but they're reacting to the match. They're reacting to what's happening in the ring, and they clearly want one side to win and the other side to lose. And Martel here, I believe it's the last time we'll see this in our lineup here tonight, has that just irrepressible babyface spirit in the match. And Tito is obviously fucking phenomenal.
Incredible.
We'll talk about, a little bit more in our next match. And, yeah, Oracle called out the finish is awesome. The O'Connor roll and the flying forearm. And I also have always been a huge sucker for the spot where there's a small package or some sort of cradle and the tag partner comes in and just scoots it. So it like changes the momentum. So the other guy's on the bottom. That's not like, I'll bump your match up fucking a star and a quarter if you do that in your match somehow. So yeah, this is great. And I'm glad a lot of these house shows are so widely available now, because you watch they just posted that Boston Garden show that I fucking love on the Vault today. And, you know, the one with the Brett Steamboat match and JYD and Hogan against the Funks. And you watch some of that stuff and it's better than what you would see on the pay-per-views because it's not like overproduced. And it's an interesting time period to be able to go back and watch matches like these. But yeah, to your point, this is accepted by the people who bought tickets as a main event match, and it delivers in terms of just pro wrestling spectacle.
Yeah, it's you know, we've talked about it before. It's so important, folks, when you go back and look at 80s WWF. This was the model. This was the business, again, pun intended. This was the business. Like, these house shows were where you made your money. This was where, like, the pay-per-views, yes, and that was going to obviously change wrestling. But if you really want to get a feel for 80s WWF, you have to watch, like, the Boston Garden shows, or, you know, like, these, like, big... This is what they were doing every night, right? This was what was, you know, was paying the bills. So it's such a good look at the guys just wrestling, just working out there. And obviously, in the way that this was presented, we did have those Bobby and Gorilla elements, which was beautiful. So very, very fun stuff indeed from MSG. Loved this one. This may have been my favorite match of the set, and that's saying something because we had some good ones on this one. The Islanders, man. Hell of a tag team.
Absolutely. But
Strikeforce, of course, is our focus. They win the belt soon thereafter, with Martel having to step away in mid-88 as his wife was terribly sick at the time. So that's why they did that angle where they say like he's injured or he misses like 6 months, right? He goes home. Which I think should be, you know, the natural, normal response to such a thing. But in truth, was kind of a sign that's come in terms of Rick Martel realizing, like, wrestling is cool, but there is real life beyond that, which I think would be kind of a, you know, that would be something we'd see repeat itself over time. Oracle, what flavor shake are you drinking right now?
Arrogance?
The Reese's.
Oh, baby. There you go. Arrogance is tremendous. All right. Upon returning, Rick's big thing was he wanted to turn heel and he wanted to try being a heel. And Pat and Vince didn't see it all, but he was so bullish on it that he was basically like, if I'm not going to be able to turn heel here, I'm going to leave. That was the thing he wanted to do. I guess he probably wanted a challenge, right? He probably wanted to test himself. He had never done it. He was convinced he could do it. And that results in the WrestleMania 5, which is actually their first match back together, like, in a long time, because they've not been, hasn't been around, where they worked with the Brainbusters, right? WrestleMania 5, and is that their only Mania match, the Brainbusters?
They worked Demolition at 4, right?
I think that's right.
I can't recall. Maybe, yeah. That sounds right. This is where they do the angle where, you know, Martel gets accidentally hit and he walks off and leaves Santana high and dry. He then would emerge with Slick as his manager. And by November, we're on the road to a Survivor Series match, which has got an insane talent pool, which we'll get to in a second. But on the road to that, we have a Saturday Night's Main Event match with Tito Santana from the October 14th, 1999 edition. Saturday Night's Main Event was taped on September 21st. As Martel is accompanied by Slick, the Big Boss Man, Akeem, Jimmy Hart, and the Honky Tonk Man. And Santana is accompanied by the Red Rooster, Bruce Bob Beefcake, and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Outstanding. Am I here, guys? Is my mic fucking up?
Not for me.
You're here.
Okay, beautiful.
Nope, you're good.
Tremendous stuff. So, this is really just a vehicle to promote the Survivor Series, right? But what we get is still delicious. It's not the match they could have, but it is still tremendous nonetheless. Alex, I'll go straight to you here. Saturday night's main event. This is a different vibe to what you have at the Garden, right? Where it's just raw pro wrestling. Obviously, very, very different. But the heat, the vibes, very, very fun.
Crowd's fucking losing it for everything in this match, man. It's important to also mention that when Rick Martel returned as the model, he was very well, I think would be the way to describe. He does a fucking double buy in this match, and I was like, good fucking God. Unfortunately, though, they come out to Jive Soul Bro, which, while a great professional wrestling entrance theme, the model, Rick Martel, that theme song may have been Jim Johnston's best work. That may have been his fucking magnum opus, to be honest. But we got what we got here. Oh, and also,
bro, a Jive Soul Bro, and you always done me.
What's the opening line? I saw this lady said to tell a story. Said I love her forever and more. You know, as I've mentioned on this very show before, if you go back to the 1989 SummerSlam, Andre the Giant walks out to that song, and it is some of the greatest unintentional comedy you will ever see. Because he's just like, "Let me die," and Jive Soul Bro's like playing over the fucking in the pre-match interview, Rick Martel, he guarantees I will win, and Gene goes, "Guarantee? Oh, that's Broadway Joe Namath right there." And then for our American fans out there, Dusty looks incredible coming out. It's worth, he just had a fucking mock, or I guess a replica LJN figure that was after this look in this match, because he comes out with the fucking hat on and the fucking polka dots and everything. But you watch a match like this, and it's not a "it used to be better" thing. It's just like you watch this and you see the way the crowd loses it
Right.
in the first minute of the match when Tito hits a sunset flip, and they buy that as a potential finish.
Yeah.
And you go like, where did it all go wrong, man? Like,
It's
what
actually
happened?
a great point, because it's like, it is actually so much harder for the guys today to get that response on fucking finishes, let alone. Now, obviously, there's a, chicken and the egg thing there, right? Like, yes, but it is also, how do you put the toothpaste back into the tube, right? Like, it's impossible.
Paul Heyman in the hot dog suit. We're all trying to find the guy who did this, And the bigger one is later in the match. They do the battle with the backslide. I don't know if anyone could get that kind of reaction out of a backslide in wrestling. It's insane. But yeah, it's nothing like revelatory. It's just a good match, and the crowd's losing their mind for it. And it's also the jump we've made in production of WWF from the tag match we just did. Obviously, that was an MSG house show to a Saturn's main event, but like bright colors, boom, like just the new vision. And then we do have Jesse on commentary, Ricky Martel. He was sticking to that pretty adamantly. And then Vince McMahon, dude, as a commentator, I'll always find something new of like, what a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
When they go to commercial break, he doesn't say this match will resume after this commercial break. He says, we will have a resumption after this commercial break. Fucking psychopath, dude. Yeah, obviously for the feud, it would be nice to have a conclusive finish. I do like the idea, the pre-match promos where they're mad at each other with the way the tag team ended, including some fairly problematic verbiage from Rick Martel. But a fun match, a good inclusion, and I think is just kind of my memory of Rick Martel that I mentioned in the beginning. He was like the mid-card guy that had like matches that seemed to have consequence, and that's something that's exemplified here.
Yeah, it's these Saturday Night Main Event matches, they're inherently kind of hurried, right? I mean, that just is what it is. It's for an audience we are trying to go, and this does feel really just like a glance what they could have done together, to be honest. As you mentioned, it's a shame we didn't get something more substantial after the tag team split, but what we get is very, very good. I mean, the punch is immediately, the action, the pace. There's that awesome ad spot of everyone getting in the ring. I do love Martel's aggression, right? He's making a point of trying to be aggressive as a heel, and I think that's kind of the main takeaway from a performance point of view, I would say. And And his bumping's insane, even at that extended, larger size and frame. As he was eating well, as you said.
Yeah.
Tremendous stuff. The Oracle of Wrestling. Saturday night's main event. What did you think?
I love when they had like the babyface entrance train to like all, it was like, and then like, of course, the last one was Dusty. Ding, ding, it's just a coming, man. Vince is screaming on commentary and shit. But this is just like pack your punch,
Right.
5-minute Saturday night's main event, late 80s, hot crowd. Just like a really good encapsulation of the time period in WWF. We don't have the model really yet. We don't have that. We don't have that full on character tweak yet, right?
Right.
He's working out the kinks. He's working out, how to be heel, how he wants to do that. And this is, in a lot of ways, this is more kind of him getting his ass beat by Tito, and then the match falling apart to set up Survivor Series. But we this is kind of a very early version of that. And then within a few months, I think he debuts Arrogance and like what, December of '89 or January of '90 maybe.
Yeah, it's like when I think he leaves. I think he and Slick split in like December. So yeah, it's like around there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Believe so.
I forgot Slick was like a more than one time thing. Yeah.
And I think he featured Brutus, right? And then Brutus cuts his jacket up.
Yeah, he cuts the jacket.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. On that note, Oracle, I don't mean to derail your train of thought here, but when you mentioned his aura in Montreal, I did some digging. In December 15th of 1989, they ran a house show at the Montreal Forum. And on that show, Rick Martel defeated Brutus Beefcake. I imagine he got a fucking hero's welcome at that show.
Oh, man. Shit. Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
And more quizzically, brother, the main event, Mr. Perfect beat Hulk Hogan by countout.
Oh, shit.
Oh, he must have beat the fuck out of him in the post-match. He has to have just 10 minutes of Hennig bumping around for punches and boots and in between. Oh, the righteous, yes. Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought you were doing a Hogan bit.
I know, it's like...
Yeah, I remember Hogan clicking. Yeah. I haven't seen any Nick Nemeth Dutch minutes yet in this one. Oracle, have I missed anything? It seems like it's been mostly Vincent in there hustling.
Yeah.
We'll keep track of the situation. Alex, yes?
Just a last thing to go off a point that Oracle made was when Vince was doing his breakdown of all the baby faces when they made the entrance. Oracle, did you see he was still trying to talk himself into the fucking Red Rooster being a good gimmick? He was like, ha ha, here he comes. He's the cock of the walk.
That's got to be one of the worst fucking things ever.
Yeah.
Bruce Pritchard still defends it.
Of course, it's Terry Taylor.
Yeah.
Of course.
Starting to question the credibility of our friend Bruce at times. Starting to question it. Pretty funny though. Fuck Terry Taylor, I guess. Bobby, what did you make of this one? What do you make of the Red Rooster gimmick?
Well, gimmick's not very good, obviously, but can't win them all. This was a hell of a time, though. It's nice when they break up a tag team and the match between the two guys is actually good, because it varies sometimes. And I like that we got the big standoff spot. I like that it just goes to a double DQ because the teams get in there and brawl, and it's what the people wanted, man. It's the middle of the show on Saturday night's main event.
Yes, indeed. Our friend John Burr is back, and beautiful Bobby. Those are his words, not mine. Though I do co-sign them. Bobby, take it away.
I had to step away for some hoops tomfoolery. I know I missed the Playboy Buddy Rose Glazing, but please tell me, beautiful Bobby, that I did not miss you guys discussing the Strikeforce theme "Girls and Cars" by Robbie Dupree. You did.
We didn't really discuss it.
Great themes.
Yeah, we didn't really discuss it, but Alex sort of briefly sung it. Would it be fair to say, right? Briefly. It's a memorable.
Do we think Bobby should read the lyrics for it?
Yeah,
that's a question for Bobby. I certainly do. Yes, but we'll see. Bobby, is that a thing we can do here on this wonderful Thursday night? We have a link in the private chat
I put him in the
immediately. Thank you, John. Here we go. Now we're talking.
They pass you on the road with a smile, and you have to look twice. You wonder yourself, could a woman really look that nice? Girls in cars, girls in cars. I love girls in cars, girls in cars, girls in cars. They always catch your eye and pretend that they just don't care. Running wild and free, my imagination takes it from there. You get the chorus again. All you girls have gone a bit too far. I'm not safe behind the wheel of my car. You look too well. You have a serious effect on me. You're a highway fantasy.
Good God.
You look too well.
It's aggressive.
It is.
That's what Vince Neil was singing when he killed that guy.
I tell you, I follow some fellas on Twitter that post like that. Thank you, John. We appreciate you very, very much. Our friend Fahad, as we leave the 80s with the split from Slick, we have an unrelated but always related in our book. We leave the 80s with maybe, let's talk quickly, just briefly, Alex, you and I, because Fahad sent a healthy FD super chat. One of the signature sporting events of the 80s, maybe the most exciting round of boxing ever, round 1, Hagler-Hearns. Not to disparage rounds 2 or 3, but round 1 is an iconic sporting moment, right?
Yeah, that's there's really nothing to compare it to. That's why everything is still compared to Hagler-Hearns.
Yeah. But
man, Tommy Hitman Hearns was a fucking sniper, and Marvin Hagler, just aesthetically, has to be one of the most intimidating fighters that's ever lived. That bald head, that goatee, how fucking jacked he was. And to your point, the third round, that knockout is devastating when he flatlines fucking Tommy. That first round is just like, it's two extremely skilled fighters. It's not this dumbass MMA shit that you see in the UFC all the time. These dudes just fucking Bart and Lisa windmilling punches. Like, it's these two like skilled fighters just going fucking, to steal your phrase from earlier, hell for leather. So Fahad, welcome to the club, brother. That's a rite of passage in some circles, my man.
And it's a fight you'll have more appreciation for as you watch more of both guys. One of the biggest ways you can really just grasp why it was so nuts that Hagler just marches forward in that fight is when Tommy Hearns fights Roberto Duran, he ices him with a right hand. Spoiler alert, I know, but it's important for where I'm going. Tommy Hearns' right hand is basically one of the most feared punches in the history of boxing, and that's why Hagler just walking forward was one of the more insane things people had ever seen at the time.
That knockout of Duran is like, it's obviously a devastating punch, but it's like a guy who, it was always thought you could hit him in the head with a fucking brick and he would be fine. And ice is the right word. He just puts him out cold.
He's one of the greatest chins in the history of combat sports, Duran. I mean, that was his thing, wasn't it? And he flattens him.
There's a great picture somewhere on the internet from around 2006, 2007, somewhere in that time frame of Bret Hart and Tommy Hearns, and it says the two hitmen. That's
yeah. You're lucky Caden's not here. That 6-7 thing would have,
God, I keep falling right into that. I'm not trying to.
I know. I like to police it so that no one try and police it so no one in the chat feels the temptation. So, tremendous stuff. It's a great fight. Hard, we appreciate you very much. Getting a super chat to about Hagler-Hearns is just,
on the
life
Rick Martel Grin Grappler.
Yeah, does life get any better? Well, I'm in the 80s. The beefcake program we discussed, in which he cuts up the jacket, which of course then is followed by the Jake angle, which is like even crazier with the blinding and the snake and all the fucking chaos they do in that.
Jake's getting a figure, by the way, I believe in Ultimate, or he's getting like an Elite with the whited out eye. That's like an homage to that match.
Really?
Did you see the thing they announced today with Austin?
Is that real? Like a play set with the fucking King of the Ring set? Oh, that's awesome, dude. I thought that was some like fantasy shit.
By the end of the 2020s, they will have captured every single thing Steve Austin ever did, I think. They got the Raw, he got arrested, they got that look, they got the fucking, obviously, Mania 13, the King of the Ring promo. We're getting there.
Dude, we need, I don't know how we haven't gotten an Elite of him in the fucking black and red WCW logo t-shirt. Like, we need Alliance Steve Austin.
They'll get to it, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be there anytime
no shortage of ideas, yeah.
The Jake Roberts program is such a, that era of WWF, there's so many programs, but if you actually ask people, the matches, in that case it's different because they have the blindfold match, which is fun, but my point is there's so many programs that remember that haven't got classic matches that people remember vividly because of the angle. Like Rude and Roberts is one of those, right, where it's like, what are the Jake Roberts Rick Rude matches you really think of? The match at fucking Mania is, you know. But
Their
like,
I'll say
Here
this:
we go.
their October '88 match is excellent.
no, I believe that. What I'm saying is, if you ask the
which is
fan,
the end of the feud.
Yeah.
Yes,
right, if
but
you just ask like
trust me, I know.
you know,
I've seen
Yeah.
the Mania match.
oh, it's terrible. But if you ask just a general fan, they remember the feud. They don't remember any of the matches, right?
correct,
And
yeah.
it's just it was a different thing. And the Jake Roberts program is one of those. It's is it fair to say it would probably be Martel's defining image? You mentioned earlier the blindfold probably is, right? Most likely.
Yeah. That and because that feud was in the works for so long, they captained teams at the 1990 Survivor Series, and as well documented in here. I pretty much have those committed to memory, but it's the Vipers versus the Visionaries. I remember Vince yelling that on the pre-show video.
Oh, yeah, Bret Hart versus Seth Rollins. No thanks.
No, brother. Oracle, we did because that was WrestleMania 31. So this year that will have been 11 years ago. We were when we did our 13 the other night. We talked about Barry Windham was the only guy on that show who was also on WrestleMania 1. And then we put it to the chat of how many guys are going to be on this WrestleMania that were on WrestleMania 13 years ago. I think it was 6 or 7. Damn it, I did it again. It was.
Oh no, you did it again.
Fucking shit.
Bobby D's running a hot tag right now.
It was 6 or 8.
Yeah, good. It's just the point I'm making is when you shot an angle, you were doing it so you could take Jake Roberts and Rick Martel across the country. Mm-hmm. You wasn't doing it necessarily so they could have a classic at the SummerSlam. You know, like it was just a different thing. So I don't know how many fans could be like, oh yeah, that Jake Roberts Martel match outside of the blindfold, but it's iconic stuff. It's probably the most memorable stuff of Rick's grip for the WWF fan, I think.
They did obviously the WrestleMania 7 one, and then on that DVD set that came out a few years back, the unreleased from that era, they had like the test run match they did at a TV taping for the blindfold, and it's a lot of fun. And truth be told, the 7 match is a lot of fun too. It's one of those things. It's not the greatest match you'll ever see, but the crowd fucking likes it, and both guys commit to it. So
yeah, I agree completely. Tremendous stuff, and then Rick kind of he steps away right in like 91 and kind of becomes like. He has his real estate business, which is always a godly pro wrestler get out of the business thing. A real estate business, guys. He's kind of not around as much. He then comes back and he's tasked with like mentoring Tatanka and working with him on the house shows. And he says that he wasn't really into it. His heart wasn't into it, which is really funny to me.
He does a Shawn Michaels program with Sherry.
He does,
which is awesome.
Which again, even though it's after the kind of height of the model run. Is probably one of the things fans might remember most is the Wembley like no punches to the face thing, right? Probably it's just stuff.
I remember most of Sherry Martel's outfit on that show, but we're
right. Yeah.
I'd agree. Which got an action figure, by the way. But
yes, it did.
Yeah. It was a 4-on-1 review. I can never remember who wrote. It might have been TJ Hawk, but like I remember someone wrote a review of that match, and. The review said like "not in the face" would become a regular line of Shawn Michaels' life.
So the Shawn thing is pretty notable. He also sticks around and does the Razor thing, right? Which is probably his last like big contribution.
God, that
right in the WWF is like making giving Razor a title win worthy of the stuff ahead of him. Which is really, really good. We covered that on the Razor Ramon episode, so check that one out. But he does some fun TV. There's like a match with Savage that has some time on TV, I want to say like 93 or 94, which I remember being fun. There's some interesting stuff, but he's kind of got a foot out the door and he's got his real estate business and he's kind of out of the game.
In the
so
94 Rumble, right?
He is.
Yes, yeah.
But not the 95. Is he in the 95 as well?
I think he's gone by 95. Okay. I believe.
Dick Murdoch is, though.
Indeed.
Yeah, baby.
Which other WWF matches do we want to call out for Act 2 here as we look ahead to the final act of Rick Martel's career, boys? Anything come to mind?
There's another Tito Ortiz match. Oh, Jesus Jones. Tito Santana match. I shared one video of Tito Ortiz, in one of his council meetings sounding like an idiot. I shared it with my buddy, and so now like my timeline is flooded with like Tito Ortiz saying dumb things. There's another Tito Santana match that might have been it was televised somewhere, but it's really good. I remember that specifically. There's a moment in it where fucking Rick goes for an atomic drop and Tito reverses it into a figure 4 leg lock. That I always remember that moment. It's so fucking cool. Yeah, the model didn't necessarily have like there was nothing tantamount to fucking the Jumbo or Buddy Rose match that we discussed. But he did steal Tatanka's feathers and made like an A-ring out of him, which was pretty cool.
Wow.
He was in the 95
He
Rumble.
replaced Nighthawk. Wow, I don't remember him being there at all.
Because like I knew he was there at the 94 one, but like I remember him being there like deep into like
that's nuts, dude.
Generation era. Like
I have never seen one Strikeforce versus Heart Foundation match. I'm sure they're good, but I've never seen one of them.
Yeah, I remember liking them but not loving them, which is my take on like every Heart Foundation tag, unfortunately.
And if real quick you'll indulge me, Joe, I'm going to try to play Stump the Oracle. Oracle, do you remember what unless I'm mistaken, the next televised blindfold match in the World Wrestling Federation was after Rick Martel and Jake Roberts?
Deep in full.
Divas trash, right?
You may be shocked at the reveal.
Oh,
wow.
Shit.
Please tell.
From 2002 on Monday Night Raw, D'Lo Brown versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
I remember that match. Holy shit.
What? 2002?
D'Lo Brown, I believe it was for the World Heavyweight Championship.
John Burge answer.
I have no understanding of why that happened. What was the angle? Was this like a fucking spin the wheel thing?
Yes, it was.
Oh, god damn it. The damn Raw
That was
roulette.
the same Raw's TLC 4, right?
I believe so. The main thing I remember is the match is like hilariously good. Like that's the, they could have had D'Lo chasing the gold after that, but anyway.
Should have. But yeah.
Rick Martel, good wrestler. Yeah.
I like him. I do like him a lot. Our friend Bobby has informed us he might be fucked. That's his words, not mine. So
Bobby.
We'll stay, if you haven't liked the video in memory of Bobby, I don't know what you're waiting for.
Something about his router flashing red. Doesn't sound good.
Yeah, it doesn't seem good. No.
We got him reciting the lyrics to Girls in Cars, so we're good there.
He gets his full pay. Yeah. I want to say the match with Brett on one of those UK Rampage shows I remember liking, I want to say.
Yeah.
A lot of it's just like, we do this sometimes with the older wrestlers. It's like, it feels like we're repeating ourselves, but it's the truth. He's one of those guys, if you're watching a show and he comes out, you're probably going to like his match. Yeah, but there ain't a ton of them that we're going to go, oh my God, this WWF match, Rick, like you've got to see it, right? It's just like, that was good. Good match.
Yeah, a lot of the model stuff is just there. That's why like the Razor match sticks out so much. That match fucking rips, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And like that time in Raw, that's like a signature match for early Raw, and that's like, wow, it's big stuff. And he's great in that match, as we discussed on that episode. Our friend Hyde us in a super chat and said, only on this channel we get this, or how we discussed this.
The Tito Ortiz slip.
Yeah. True, but also as for this stream, we did discuss the fact we were getting a little mainstream recently. We had to rein it in, didn't we? With the model, we had to pull it back a little bit.
That Nakamura, we got a little bit too much on that Nakamura one. We got to bring it back in.
But to your point, yes, Tito Ortiz, Tito Santana confusion, and also a segment dedicated to Hagler Hans in the midst of all this.
Tito Santana. Arriba, I don't mean to confuse you with that dipshit. I apologize.
Oracle, look at your fucking television right now, bro. I'm fucking.
See, here's the issue. You and I are on the same wavelength for some reason because you're ahead.
Wavelength is godly. Oh, it's because I'm on the Impact Plus thing.
Yeah.
TNA, what the fuck? Yeah. Just wait to see the segment they pitched here, like this SmackDown. Oh shit! All right, Act 3.
Who's in the final 6 of the '92 Rumble? Martel or Tito Ortiz?
I would lean Martel, but Ortiz has done some pretty impressive things as possible. Act 3, Martel kind of floating around as a part-timer, and then his WCW comeback, which, as mentioned earlier, is probably one of the things people talk about most, which is really hilarious because of how short it is. As good as it is, it's like really short.
6 or 7 weeks long.
Yeah. But because WCW had 18 TV shows, he has like a bunch of stuff. Like,
is that Is that it? So this will be 2 matches from that comeback run. Is that the most consolidated run to get 2 matches on the Grin Grappler?
It has to be, dude. Like I was looking for it earlier. There's so many just like get over matches on Saturday night and shit he taped, like godly. In '95, he's just working individual dates, and he feuds with Don Callis, who's about to come up here in his Grin Grappler debut. Because on August 24th, 1997, Rick Martel and The Natural, which is Don Callis, the main character of AEW Dynamite, take on Adam Impact, the other main character of AEW Dynamite, and Christian Cage, the final main character of AEW Dynamite. I looked at the card for this on Cage Match. According to Cage Match, this was Don Callis' 4th match of the night.
Wow. He's been doing it for 30 years, folks.
One of those was against Scott D'Amore, who was also in multiple matches. I was looking at his card, just fascinated by it. And also, here's what popped me too. Cage Match, like most shows of this scale, you don't have the attendance on Cage Match. They had on this 101 people in the building for this one. Some of which are heckling the boys, it has to be said. There's some interesting commentary from the people in attendance.
Yes.
We just have a still shot here of just action. And
Grand Prix wrestling from the Maritimes.
this is one of the weirdest things we've ever covered on Grin Grappler. Before I go any further, I liked it, but here's why it's weird. It's basically Rick Martel taking 2 young fellas and going, what if you guys be Strike Force? But he is wrestling opposite them, which is a fascinating thing. To like watching it play out is so weird because we talked about this a little bit of text earlier. They're basically like doing an 80s babyface tag team act, right? Like with the tandem offense and the energy. And Alex, you had a different way of phrasing it, which I'll leave for yourself, but it's just fascinating to look at. And, you know, Don is in for most of the match, but when you get Martel in there, he's bumping around for these guys and trying to make them trying to shine them up. It's really a cool thing to add to the Grappler archives, but it is pretty weird in terms of just the vibes. It feels like something you're not supposed to be seeing almost. It's very, very interesting. Oracle, what did you make of this, and how thrilled were you to see some more Don Callis?
I got to be honest with you. I just want to be honest.
Yeah.
When I saw that there was a 20-minute Don Callis match,
Yeah.
and because I watched it today when I was on break at work, and I said, "You got to be fucking kidding me! 20 minutes for this shit."
Yeah.
So I turned it on. I'm watching it. At one point, a buddy of mine at work goes, "Oh, that's an old one."
It looked like it was from the 70s, didn't it?
Hell, that's an old one.
It looked really old, didn't it? Like even older than it is.
I said, "Yeah." I said, "This is from like 1997," and he goes, "Man," he goes, "and this is fascinating." Total, obviously non-fan. He goes, "Man, I'm just startled by the single camera."
Yeah.
He's like, "It's just a one shot," and I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Listen," I was like, wrestling you see is they try to make it like an action movie. This is
It's pro wrestling, bro.
yeah." I was like, "This is pro wrestling," It's like this is actual, like how it's supposed to be filmed. He was stunned by how there was literally just one camera. Seriously, I found that very telling when he told me that. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It just shows you how terrible wrestling production is nowadays. So this match reminded me of like it was very much a like, all right, we're gonna work the basics and see if you guys can stick the landing. Was basically the idea with Martel, and he was kind of the one leading the troops along. I liked the early stuff with like Edge and Christian doing like their tandem offense and all that stuff. I got to tell you, my biggest pet peeve, or I guess my biggest complaint, is if I never see a front face lock ever again, I will live to see another day. But so they work the front face lock a lot here. And part of the problem is might have been the setting where I watched the match. But the most interesting stuff was just watching like Martel kind of guide these guys who were obvious. I mean, Edge and Christian were just, about as green gets at this point.
Yeah.
It was really interesting to watch him guide them just through the basics and really work what ultimately was a very sound wrestling, tag team wrestling match. There was nothing bombastic or phenomenal or amazing about this, but there was also, it was worked in a way to where, and as critical as I am of the front face lock, there's something to be said about the simplicity of this match in teaching young wrestlers how to work a match, work an audience, and work and sell and make a comeback and all that stuff, which I thought this did a really good job of showing. There's something to be said about that type of match,
I agree.
which I don't think we see too terribly often anymore. And of course, this is a situation where it's different because of here's an example. You watch an NXT show, they don't work matches this simple.
Right, they go bigger. Yeah.
They go bigger.
Yeah.
And I think that's a mistake. I think they'd be better off if they worked matches like this at the start.
I agree. But the beauty of this is in front of 100 people. And let's be honest, it lived on with YouTube. Like, this is a match for 100 people, right? Whereas, like, the brutal thing for the NXT talent now, where I sympathize, is like they're wrestling in front of 700,000 people on TV. It's like,
right.
This is honestly, we have our fun with Cope, and obviously we all love Christian Cage, but what an education this is for these two guys, right?
Course,
It's insane. They're just working for 100 people with Rick Martel, like nuts. But yeah, I agree with you completely. They're having a match that's, as you said, this master the basics. Let's have a wrestling match.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. Well, this is a fun one. Alex, this was your pull. You found this one, right? And you had a couple uploads on YouTube. And it's a thing that's obviously kind of have a historical focus for most people because it's Edge and Christian at the start. For us, we're looking at Rick near the end.
Yeah.
But both things are interesting, right? It's a fun one to watch.
Yeah, and Callis, it had to be, they built him as like the super model or something. He had to be wearing some of Rick's old gear because it did not look like it fit him properly. Fucking Don Callis. Cyrus. Very grab a front face lock and wait until the people come up, that thing of Brian Myers, what he said recently about when he put a headlock on Jimmy Lloyd, Jimmy tried to stand up immediately and he goes, no, he goes, we wait for the people, brother. And that's, that's the type of stuff you see here. Edge and Christian in this, or Adam Impact and Christian Cage look like the most WCW Saturday Night Jobber tag team I've ever seen. Just their like gear and like they're not just blonde; they're like fucking platinum bleach blonde in this match. And the ring looks like it's gonna collapse at any moment. Every time those dudes hit the ropes, I had momentary moments of panic, or momentary bouts of panic, I should say, because it's literally like tilting, which either way the ropes were hit last. And then Rick will get in and just, do his thing. And he does kind of brother a few things. He takes a spill to the outside and he just kind of, let me lay down the apron and then I'll fall up there.
He's almost more like a coach, isn't he? In this, like calling plays, and he gets in occasionally and chips in a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. He's watching the sidelines, and then when he sees something that can be improved upon, he tags in and he's like, all right, so you do it like this. All right. I love the post match too with the fucking school cafeteria chair that doesn't fold, so they have to figure out the way to hit the guys with it. This is not going to be in the upper echelon of Grin Grappler matches, but it's a really fascinating little blip we were able to find. And like you said, also the stationary shot makes it seem like we were never supposed to find it, so it feels almost like we're unearthing something even though we're not. And I guess the compliment I'll say is he was still in phenomenal shape, and we'll obviously see that in our closing match as well. But I wonder who he was doing a favor for here, because this is obviously a match in Canada. And
I have insight on that, Katrina.
Oh, baby.
because I learned something today that blew my mind. And yesterday, in fact, and I learned it incredibly after our prior fun from our friends at Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard. As apparently in 1997, there was extensive talk about bringing in Don Callis and Rick Martel as a tag team to the World Wrestling Federation.
Oh my
God. And in
God.
fact, the WCW run that we all come to know and love, yes, that 2-month run that we all talk about all the time, in fact was purely like a bidding war situation because he was intending to go to the WWF. And then Bischoff swooped in, paid him more money, brought him to World Championship Wrestling. So there is a world in which the tag team division that we saw on Tuesday, Alex, with all, the Blackjacks, the Headbangers, in the midst of that, if it couldn't have got weirder, the new Blackjacks could have been wrestling Don Callis and Rick Martel in 1997, which is bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. But, yeah, Rick got off from WCW and said, that's cool, man. Don, good luck. Yeah.
Maybe you could wrestle as, the Jackal or something,
What do we think, Alex? What's the craziest match in 97 for Callis and Martel?
Oh, dude, Furnace and LaFawn. Like on a
Yeah.
Shotgun Saturday night where they actually try to do their shit.
But, genuinely, timeline wouldn't have necessarily matched up perfectly, but if we could have got some Bulldog and Owen in there with Martel, that would have been a cool piece of history, wouldn't it?
Yeah, not the Martel part of the equation, but methinks Don Callis could have easily run afoul of the Road Warriors, and if they put them in the ring together,
I never knew that story at all, but I do remember
that's
hearing
insane.
Don talk about Martel doing something or another to him in a negative connotation. So, I don't know. But Eric Bischoff, it sounds like, was like a little bit of a mark for Martel because, the way he was revered.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. The way he was revered in the AWA. And I also think, and he's talked about this, when Bischoff was not an executive, the way guys behaved definitely colored the way you saw them when he was. And he talks about Luger, right? Luger was a prick when he was just talent. Bischoff was talent. So he kind of, made him look at him differently. Martel was very classy, and I think Bischoff saw him as he's a really good guy to have around. Martel's experience in WCW. Go for it, Alex.
No, Bish has always been that. He's a man's man. He was a good guy. Well, he always talked about, look me in the eye when he talked to me. That's one of his qualifiers.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, I could see that being a big thing for him. Yeah.
Grabbed a beer with him, all that stuff.
I had a beer with him.
Yeah. Every Bischoff story includes a meeting that is described like it's from a movie, we had a meeting. It's you talk to him a little bit, man. It's not, it's not. But nonetheless,
yeah.
Rick was there for 2 months, and he already was able to draw the conclusions of, man, the WWF guys didn't really get on with the WCW guys. It was weird, weird vibes. He also tells a story about what we're about to discuss. So we obviously covered the Booker T match. There's another Booker T match we could have done here, but it felt fun to mix it up a little bit. Mm-hmm. So we are headed to the 3rd edition of Thunder, January 23rd, 1998, where we are greeted by Lee Marshall in Huntsville, Alabama, Perry Saturn, Rick Martel. On this show...
Laps fan, man.
Yeah, on this show, they do an angle in which Perry jumps Rick and throws him through a fucking glass window or a glass door. And in the shoot Rick does, he talks about going home and being like, man, the stuff these guys do now on TV is crazy. It is genuinely a one-night thing. They throw him through this glass deal. He comes out there and wrestles him and beats him. That's the whole angle. If you're from the cadence of wrestling television when he was at his prime, can you imagine how fucking jarring it was, right? You shot an angle, you got 7 months of house shows out of it. Here, he just works Perry Saturn, and that's the end of it. He beats him. That's it.
And he wins clean after going through a glass wall. Yeah.
Bizarre. I have to say, I tweeted about this earlier in the week. I love World Championship Wrestling. It is the premier vibes promotion in the history of wrestling. I fucking hate Thunder. Thunder makes me very uncomfortable. The sound of Thunder, the look of Thunder, the fact that crowds appeared to be just inherently, undeniably depressed every time they went to a Thunder. This is episode 3 and they've already just thrown it in and they've said enough of it. I saw, because I watched the card before this, Dean Malenko wrestled Marty Jannetty on this still. And I was I have to see this. They just wrestled dead silence, complete silence.
Oh, match, to be fair, but...
Yeah, it's fine. But it's just silence, It's just, I hate Thunder. I hate it. that's where we're at anyway. And
the ring
yes,
skirts that have the rock texture, like they fucking look like it's
yeah. I do want to know in that Jannetty match, he comes out to the Hollywood Blondes music. You know, the music that we now just which they use so many times.
Wow.
And this was a live one too. So this wasn't even in the era where they did the double taping. I don't think. And this was like
I will say the Thunder tapings do because we get them on Twitter a lot. Have some incredible commentary from Heenan and Giovanni when they just do not care.
Hey, there's a moment in this match. You rest assured.
Yeah. Nonetheless, the last thing we talked about, you do see the old school babyface fire. To be completely honest, boys, I know what you thought. I thought this was a bit of a one-man show. I thought Perry was very listless in this one. Very, very listless. If Perry Saturn's not being insane in there, he's not really much fun at all, is he? Really? There's not like a lot to fall back on. He's very just kind of there. I don't think he's thrilled about doing a job either, based on the way he was working. But Rick's got some fire, and he kind of forces people to respond. It's not much, but it's fun, and it was a nice kind of, again, it's about novelty. To close out this story, which started in Portland with Thunder, it tells a story arc. Well, this was pretty fun, I thought.
Yeah, it was. My favorite part is they don't do it enough now, but he got thrown through a glass door and had the appropriate response for his match to run down and start kicking ass.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen too many times where people come get their ass beaten bloody and they, go for a fucking lockup. Like, what the fuck? It just, so I appreciated that. Martel with his great left hands, always fun to watch.
Yep.
Excuse me. I do like Saturn's set out backslide.
That's cool.
Pull that out sometimes. Martel has a cool counter into the Quebec Crab for the win, which is neat. Funny moment in the post match where Kidman, I think it is, tries to dive onto Martel, and Martel just moves and he just crushes and lands on Saturn's head. I also think Lodi took a bump as well off of the apron, I think, at one point. So yeah, this was this is your typical kind of flock match from the era, but Martel added that kind of unique sort of old school spark to it, and man, he really looked motivated during this run.
He did.
He has a lot of fun TV matches during this very brief run.
He has him and Eddie have a 3-minute match.
It's really
that gets
good.
clipped up all the time.
Yeah, it's really good
because it's so good. His work is terrific. I do think presentation wise, he was inevitably going to go back heel because it just in the Booker matches you see that he leans heel.
Right.
Alex, what did you make of this one, mate?
It's fun. It was a good time. It just speaks to the sometimes overstated but also very valid chaos that was WCW, where the commentators like, "Oh, we're gonna show it again," and then when they show the angle because they don't know they're pitching to. While Rick Martel's very strange fucking slap bass funk theme is playing over all this happening. In a very strange theme song. I forgot that Perry Saturn's theme song was just a fucking tornado siren going off until he got to the ring. The door spot looks awesome. When they show that back on TV. There's Saturn is throwing several he does a T-bone, I think, in Northern Lights in this, which I'm sure Taz somewhere was thrilled about watching this at home. And into the closing sequence too, there's just a phenomenal setup into the Boston Crab, and it's a novelty, this match, but Rick's looking smooth in this, and it's kind of funny. I was reading his last match was in 1999, and you think of how many guys are still active that the last time they looked this good was years ago.
Right.
Whatever the case, a fun entry. I think a kind of fun note to close on. And I do need to call out the Shagger Lee Marshall at one point says, Tony, it's easy to discount Saturn as just a thug, but he's a trained athlete, and he says that he was an Army Ranger, and he starts listing his accolades. And Bobby Heenan goes, "My uncle was a Ranger," and Shivani goes, "Not a park ranger." He goes, "No, I worked at a golf course in Beverly Hills."
Tremendous stuff. The brain was funny for a lot longer than people think like he just stopped being funny in 95.
He was always funny. He was funny until he stopped commentating.
I agree. He was fucking miserable, but that made him funnier, to be honest. As we've learned on the Late Night Grin, that's a common theme.
He's funny until the gimmick battle royal at X7.
Yes,
I agree. Gene says of the Repo Man, he says, about 6 months ago, he got my mother-in-law. And then he says about 6 years ago, everyone got your mother-in-law.
I've always thought it was a shame when big Heenan fans do the thing of man, I wish he never went. It's I don't know, man, it was fun. It was different, wasn't it? I think that's part of that's part of the story is that he went to WCW and did some different stuff and had some ups and downs. It's part of the fun. But whatever. The Booker T matches are very fun, but unfortunately Rick he really had some struggles with the Harlem Heat fellows. He gets injured in both Booker T matches. He then, after 6 months off, after the second injury, comes back and works with Steve Ray and immediately gets injured again, and that's that. That's the end of the WCW run.
He tears his knee up, right, in that one?
Yeah, I will say, shit happens. The choice to have him work with Stevie Ray after 6 months off feels like a political hit. With respect and love to our friend Stevie Ray, I don't know about that choice, but that's the end of it. He does wrestle a match, as Alex mentioned, on an indie after that to wrap it up, but that's it, right? That's the end of the in-ring story. It's interesting since then, and I honestly don't know the answer to this, so you guys can help. Has he popped up as a WWF legend on stuff? I know we said the video game, on shows. Has he ever done Raw reunion things?
No, none of that I've ever known of.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I know it's one of those things. Let me see if I can pull it up here. His his figure history.
It's very scattered, right? He has a license sometimes and sometimes not.
Yeah, but very recently he's gotten into
the
licensing.
Yeah,
exactly. Like the mock Hasbros and whatnot. And of course, I think that what's motivated him to hit up conventions is he saw how well those fucking big rubber guys that he made with Hawkins and Ryder sold.
Yeah, got two of them, yeah.
Yeah.
One of them's got the scarf. Very cute. Very nice.
But to your point, he's not one of those guys that any time...
Hold the phone. We are hearing reports of a Vengeance 07 Deuce and Domino thing here. Hold on, folks.
Oh, my God.
Hold on a second.
Baby.
We're not going to comment any further on the show. We're just going to say, what was this Rick Martel did that night?
God damn it. As you were saying that, I was like, why don't I remember Vengeance 07? Oh!
The craziest thing is I definitely watched this not long ago. I don't remember this at all. Okay. By the way, on his Wikipedia, there is a March 19th, 2026 update, which says his manager shot down the rumors about the Hall of Fame. No matter what Bruce Pritchard said, he has never been offered the WWE Hall of Fame, and if he's offered it, I'll make sure he personally accepts the offer.
Part of that whole shit is those guys. It's some of those guys campaign for it. He's never been one of those guys of I am in the Hall of
Okay, I have some updates here. Okay.
Oh, boy.
After retiring from the ring, he had some time as a trainer in WCW, and he also hosted the French versions of WCW programming. In addition, in 2003 in Quebec City at a house show, then WWE champion Brock Lesnar introduced Martel to the ring as a surprise and shook his hand. He received a standing ovation from his home fans and said he was honored to be associated with WWE and thanked the fans.
2003, you said?
Yes. Night of Champions, Martel, along with his former teammate, Tony Gurria, saved Jimmy Snooker and Sergeant Slaughter from a post-match attack at the hands of Deuce and Domino. So his manager said, literally today, he did an interview and said that Martel has turned down stuff like access. He's never turned down the Hall of Fame. No matter what Bruce Pritchard says, those are his words, not mine.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
Wow. I watched that match that long ago. That's the one where, Oracle, that's the one where there's a leapfrog where Domino doesn't get high enough and Jimmy Snuka just like runs straight into his legs and he kills him. It's
I
incredible.
think I've seen the clip.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, upon research, his figures are extremely scattered. He has the only ones he's had in recent memory are of independent companies. He had one of the classic Jack Superstars.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the original Legends line, those ones that are like fucking so hard to track down now.
Yeah.
The fucking Kevin Von Erich ones, like $350.
You mean the original Mattel Legends or the Jax Legends?
The
Mattel ones?
original Mattel Legends.
Yeah,
like
the early ones with the really
like
cool packaging.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Kevin and Kerry Von Erich ones are crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that he came with a sweater with the Jax Classic
Mhm.
Superstars. But he, of course, had an AWA figure,
Beast.
LJN, single and twin pack with Tito. And then I'm seeing here, too, fucking Vern not missing a beat, man. He had what was going to be his version of Wrestling Buddies. And the first line was going to be Rick Martel, Ric Flair, and the Karate Kid.
So, I think, in truth, the lack of appearances as a legend, you know, like a canon, that's part of why he has kind of dropped, like his legacy is somewhat lessened. It's just the way it works, unfortunately. I wish it wasn't, but it is, isn't it? Like, there's some legends that are around all the time. He's not, and he suffers as a result. So yeah, it seems like, based on Hudson here saying he was pulled from a video game, like, it seems like he's someone who's not, like, desperate to sign these Legends deals. So, like, sometimes he has them, sometimes he doesn't. Interesting. Very, very interesting. He should be in the Hall of Fame at some point. I'm sure they'll figure it out at some point.
What this likely points to for me is that he's fairly intelligent and most wrestlers aren't, and he like reads these contracts and stuff, and he's just like, no, I'm not going to do this.
Exactly, yeah. And it's now that he's figured out he can do these independent figure lines. I mean, I'm sure he's doing great with those, so
yeah,
even less reason. Yeah, interesting stuff. He is at the big event this weekend. Our friend JJ will be there, and it'll be cool. I think a lot of fans will have a lot of stuff for him to sign that he's not really been at conventions a lot, right? So it'll be like a big deal, I think. For the collectors, that's always a big thing, right? The kind of the parts of the collection the hardest guys to get the signature of. It'd be fun.
Wasn't it fucking IVP? Like, I think he like flew somewhere for the convention.
Yeah.
Nails was that to get something signed by Nails.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, boys, let's put a bow on Rick the Model Martel. But before we do that, our friend John Burr is back with a triple header. He asks, and I quote, worst promo, we'll go one by one. Tito Santana or Tito Ortiz?
Oh, Tito's. Man, that you turkeys. You know that one.
Yeah.
Tito, man, like Tito. I think the best line he ever pulled off was one that he was rehearsing in front of the mirror for 7 hours beforehand when he said to Chuck Liddell, he goes, yeah, they call you the Iceman. I'm looking at your belly. I'm thinking more like the Snowman. You know? Tito's the worst ever. Tito's the worst at everything. He's a guy, I saw there's that clip of him on, I think it's Brendan Schaub's podcast, where he's like, of course I want to outlive my kids. That's what he said.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a meeting of the minds there. Their SAT score, Tito Ortiz or Scott Steiner? I actually reckon Scott is one of those guys who's quietly sharper than you might suspect. Quietly. I'm not saying he's a genius. Just saying, compared to Tito, I got him.
I feel like he used the line several times of, I'm college educated, you know, in his promo. So, yeah.
Now, he has admitted that he had friends who would give him the answers to all the questions in
of course
quizzes
they did.
and
He would
such,
kill them if he did it.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll say this for Tito Ortiz, though, Alex. He was one of the first guys who went, hold up, they're paying us how much? So
it's true.
You know, balancing act. 20 years later, we're still figuring that one out, by the way. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Scott. I'm gonna go with Scott. Better Shoney's franchise owner, Scott Steiner or Jerry Jarrett? This is a terrific question to close.
Scott Steiner.
No question.
Back when he was so this is a good side story.
Mm-hmm.
So in high school, I had a friend of mine who alleged in I still to this day don't know. I mean, chances are he's probably bullshitting, but there's a way he went about it that was it at best, or I guess clever enough to where it actually seems somewhat believable. So Steiner Shoney's was like in like Dalton and like Rome or whatever, somewhere around there. Maybe it might have been Calhoun, Georgia. So it's like North Georgia. So if I'm not mistaken. So my buddy claimed his mom was dating Scott Steiner.
Hell yeah.
Period.
Hell yeah.
In high school. So like I went with it. Kent, okay, thank you, John Burr. So I went along with the game,
Yeah.
and it wasn't nothing about the descriptions he gave me were that hard to believe, to be honest. So to this day, I often wonder, was my buddy from high school, was his mom actually?
God, I hope so.
Scott Steiner?
I really do hope so.
Oracle, Shoney's is like a cafeteria style establishment, right?
Yes, it's basically like buffet style.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really known for its breakfast. When I would go there when I was a kid, get like they had like really good French toast sticks and stuff. So.
There you go for the video game chat earlier.
Rage in the Cage.
We do wish our best to go on, Alex Sergo.
Rage in the Cage was a Sega CD game. I remember as a kid.
Wow.
I've seen it in person, but I've never seen it played. But I remember like the ads in the fucking WF magazine and the comics I read at the time. That made me very jealous people had it.
We do wish the best to our fallen Grinner Bobby Two Shoes, who was, as he said earlier, fucked after all. Please smash the like button, all that good stuff. I do have some news from Main Event. This is really for Oracle specifically because it's Rapi's alley.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Cardona and Apollo Crews appear to have formed a new Red Hot tag team, and on Main Event, Oracle, get ready, they beat Fraxium clean in the middle.
Oh, baby.
Another one for the good guys, boys. I'll see you on Fridays. Here we
I
go.
bet Bix is pissed.
Yeah. Thank you, John, for the super chat. All right, let's take her home. Here we go. Let's talk about the legacy of Rick Martel. And I have to say, doing this, I've actually kind of realized, and I don't mean this is an insult, it's actually a compliment, but you'll get where I'm going here. We do these Grin grapplers, and some of these guys are so controversial and divisive and polarizing. And we have all these conversations about their perception of them and whether it's right or wrong or fair or unfair. And we had a little bit of that tonight. But the reality is when you delve into the Rick Martel story, it's really a story of everyone that's watched him wrestle just going, good, winning, very good wrestler, excellent wrestler. And as a result, a show like this, I'm really glad we did it because I think a lot of our grinners probably aren't as familiar and some that are probably enjoyed the conversation. I'm really glad we did it. But as a result, it's kind of a straight line show in that regard, right? Like there's some twists and turns in terms of his career, which are interesting, WCW and all that good stuff. Wrestling Christian Cage and Adam Copeland, but this isn't one where it's going to be, you're going to have a debate with someone really about Rick Martel. Now, I'm sure, Oracle, you've seen on the message boards, there can be debates about anyone, but even with, I'm sure even in that circle, it's like, Rick Martel is really fucking good. That's the end of it almost. He was basically always good, too. He doesn't have that end of his career where he, embarrasses himself. He comes back on the national stage, he's really good, and he's gone. It's an interesting one. His legacy, I think he is sincerely underrated in terms of what he meant to pro wrestling in the 80s, and especially, I think there's a perception of him being a guy who, he was the model, and yes, he was, but he was also a really big deal in the 80s. And Alex, I know when I pitched to you, feel free to circle back to his importance in Japan. But yeah, he was, as a babyface, he was kind of in that mold of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, right? And then he had this kind of iconic gimmick in an era of the WWF where flamboyance and personality took center stage. He was able to adjust and make that happen too. He's a great pro wrestler, a legendary pro wrestler who probably deserves more love in that regard, but I think there are less kind of moments in his career that are canonized and locked in as these kind of pieces of history. And as a result, he's one that I think, unfortunately, could somewhat fall through the cracks as a result. But if it makes anyone watching this feel any better, I don't think he really gives a fuck. So, I mean, that helps, right? I think he's pretty content and just kind of being like, I had fun, I made money, I now do this. Oracle, anything to add when it comes to Rick the Model Martel?
No, I think we really touched on it well. I think we really pressed the button and kind of sort of roughly kind of figured out why he's not talked about as much, and that's because he appears to be, like 99.9899% of wrestlers are not normal. But it appears Rick Martel is at least adjacent to that, and has somehow found a way to live his life outside of wrestling, which is honestly sad to say, but it's nice to hear.
Mhm.
To say that's nice to hear.
Yeah.
But sorry, I'm reading our wonderful super chat here. Really underrated wrestler, really unheralded, very versatile.
Yeah.
And even showed that, because one of the absolute best baby faces of the '80s, no question. Always worked with the cheap seats. Always solid. Always reliable in the ring. And even proved to be a pretty good heel, especially as a character. With the model gimmick, so somebody who should, I feel like, probably deserves some reevaluation from wrestling fans as a whole.
Yes, indeed. Alex, before I go to your final thoughts, just based on the end of this super chat, you can take this one because it's a nice flourish I think you could hit in style. Go back to our friend John Burr here. Alex, take it away, mate.
I think the big, complex, complicated legacy of Rick Martel that can out this Grin over the top is that he is one of the best of all time, held back by one thing no man can overcome: a full-on Pepe Le Pew accent. That's the Survivor Series 89 opening. I'm thankful for my good looks, so.
Thank you, John. Take it away, Alex. Go
yeah,
ahead.
Beautiful. Yeah, and Oracle. I think that might be the next LNG T-shirt. Normal adjacent. That should be the phrase on there. To the Japan thing, I just was always so tickled by Conrad Thompson's story. I've had conversations upwards of 90 minutes with the New Japan office on the greatness of Rick Martel. That's one of the things he said before. And, you go back and watch the crowd the Japanese audience buys into. He's a fucking good looking, North American, French Canadian. And the thing is too, in that early the 80s, his build was different than the bodybuilder that he got in WWF. He had that fucking rugged athlete build, like that Randy Couture style physique. But anyway, amazing wrestler. And I knew these things. But going through some of these matches and kind of just reliving some memories of him and whatnot, and look, we haven't even danced around it. We've just hit the nail on the head with him. The reason he's not talked about as a great, or not constantly oh, he was so underrated, it's because he doesn't give a fuck and he's not out there perpetuating this narrative.
Mm-hmm.
I love Bret Hart. Bret Hart is a personal hero of mine, but Bret will let you know, and it clearly means something to him that people revere him as a great professional wrestler, and that's fine. That's the life path he chose. It's a life path he was given, and so I understand that that's something that would be important to him. Mm-hmm. Rick Martel's a guy that got in and out of the business and hasn't looked back since. He's done a couple of odd run-ins here and there, but overall, he's just he's done his own thing, has lived his own life, and you would think that that's commonplace. But it's not in professional wrestling. So when that happens, because you're not always fucking active and reminding people of your legacy, right. There are so many young people that just believe Ric Flair is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time just because Ric Flair says it all the time. You know what I mean? That's the way this works. But to me, that's even more endearing that he's so content with what he did that he doesn't feel the need to remind people of it. But me as a fan, and the level of perversion that we have about wrestling, going back and watching some of these, it's just like, holy shit, dude! Like that babyface stuff we were talking about, like that's not like we're not just doing our shit. Like there's legitimate things young kids can watch and learn from that, like and learn like his movements and what he's doing and like why he's doing it. Like there's so much merit in that. So great wrestler. Normal adjacent human being, and a great subject for this. I was trying to think of he might be kind of in a weird way close to Tajiri in that way, of people that know his body of work, know how great he was. I guess the big difference was Tajiri had more, I guess you would say, like memeable moments or more like GIF worthy moments or something like that. But yeah, people who know ball, I think Rick Martel's entered into the halls of Tajiri and Hack for the most beloved members of the Grin Grappler canon.
That's actually interesting. Maybe they may be the big three. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they covered anyone else that's like not debate. I mean, even with Hack, there's debates, but everyone still likes Hack, right?
Yeah.
Martel and Tajiri, they do have in common that kind of that vibe of like everyone knows they're really good and likes them. Yeah. Interesting one coming here from our friend John. These are his words, not mine. He says, Brett still crows about his own legacy more than that of his brother, who fell from the sky. Clearly needs his legacy defended from the likes of Segunda Kaida hipster goons. Now, folks, I don't want to stress, these are John's words, not mine. I think the sentiment really was that of the final few words. This was a defense of own heart, I think, important to stress. While I love the $10, I really would appreciate when Bob's not here, John, if you could, that's a perfect kind of chat for Bob. When Bob's not here, I have to read it and it could be clipped and there's all sorts going on. But yeah. I mean, there's points made there. There are points made there. It's up to you to decide which ones were. All right. Thank you, John, I suppose. Okay. John also, I knew that Tajiri thing was going to upset him. I just knew it. Just look how mad he is. Look at this. Just infuriated. I think this is really the blame for what happened there. But nonetheless, here's the deal, folks. We have a situation to handle. Next month's Grin Grappler, we have a long-time supporter of this program, a friend of the program, our friend Klein, who has been campaigning for some time now in regards to Harley Race. And I said to him, listen, Klein, here's the deal. Bob O'Neill steers the shit when it comes to who's next. Bob O'Neill's not here, boys. I think we have to do what's right by our friend Klein. And then we have to do Harley Race in April. I will say, if you're not for that, there are some other options. We can do fellow wrestling legend Randy Orton, which I'm sure Klein will be thrilled about. We could do Diamond Dallas Page. Or we could do, perhaps, Lita, which would allow Alex to do the Amy Dumas thing over and over again. All worthy contenders, but I personally think we should do Harley Race. Our friend, of respect for our friend Klein, who has been campaigning, as you said, for some time now, sending letters to my house, campaigning in the streets.
Out of that lineup, especially because DDP, we already did. We did the Goldberg and Sting match, so
6 Lita matches.
Yeah, brother, Lady Sabu.
Do you reckon you could do it?
A lot of Team Extreme tags.
You could do it, I think, because you could go like Team Extreme heel leader, I guess.
I'm not watching that fucking Becky match again, dude. I'm not doing that.
Okay, but she did. What else has she done since coming back? Evolution? She was on? Did she do anything else?
That tag match at Evolution was, I remember being good, where she teamed with Trish. Yeah.
It has the funny moment too, where like someone's pinning Mickey, and rather than just kick out, she's so upset that Alicia Fox going to miss a save, she just stops working and yells, "Foxy!" Alicia's late to her spot. Just kick out,
Yeah, that one we'd have to get real creative. We'd have to do that Edge Matt Hardy cage match because she's part of it.
That feels problematic, quite frankly, doesn't it?
Amy.
That's all you wanted to do. Was that.
Yeah, man. Like, fuck. I'm not even doing a bit. I don't think you want to do 6 Randy Orton matches, Joe.
Well, let's not get too hasty. Oracle and I got some stuff in our pocket, but we'll get to that down the line. Let's wait for him to get another WWE title round.
But no, we're going with Harley.
I'm the world champion.
I just went to Lita's. Oh, hang on a second.
Bump me.
This is something to think about for next year, boys. Lita is in the Terry Funk One Night Stand 06 match.
Oh,
consider.
that's a good one. Yeah.
A couple of Trish, but there's some stuff we could do. We'll do it one day. We don't need more women's wrestlers in our
The fucking Trish Raw
I'm gonna
match.
put a bounty on Ric Flair. This is how much.
Yeah.
What was it?
Kabuki! Yeah, you gotta have that.
Yeah.
We gotta do the fucking Kerry Von Erich Texas Stadium match. That would be one that.
Now, here's what I have to say to our friend Klein. Whenever you see this, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it, because Bob O'Neill, with his compliments of these matches, he is going to reveal to you that he actually hates all of them. Just wait for it. He will say things that are clearly underhanded and tactical burials. Be prepared. Be ready. Prepare yourself to adjust accordingly. Bob O'Neill could be quietly aggressive on this show. I'm not sure he's going to love this lineup, I'm going to be honest with you, but that makes it all the more appealing to me personally. We don't need to do a Kyrie show actually legitimately though, right? That's actually something we need to do. Like that's because we could do some stuff in Japan, then we do like NXT, we do the Asuka thing, right? Where it's like Japan, NXT main roster. We could have a hoot with that, it'd be fun.
Easy. 20 matches.
Yeah. We just do a 10-hour Kyrie Sane show.
It would be very on brand, not gonna lie.
Yeah. I do think it's important we stress, though, legitimately. The idea of this show has always been, and will continue to be, it's not the titans of the business that, were the greatest of all time. It's just a wrestler, right? It could be anyone. It could be absolutely anyone. And we're going to, as we keep this thing going, you're going to see that over time, I think. So, nonetheless, the Oracle of Wrestling, anything you want to plug, bro, before we get out of here?
Join Joe and our other friends tomorrow evening for special start time, 10:05 Eastern time.
Yes, sir.
For a WrestleMania 10, Grin along the 32nd. Alex, I want you to hear this. This will hit you hard. The 32nd anniversary of WrestleMania 10.
Yep.
Oh boy, brother.
And that is tomorrow evening. I believe the Hooper will be involved.
He will.
in that endeavor.
Oh God,
Joe, I'm gonna give it to you to boost our ratings from here on out. But I'm sure I'll be around for a grin or two here in the next couple of weeks.
We are hoping on April 10th. Our plan is to do a list show talking about the WrestleMania's decade so far.
That's right.
Which I got to tell you, Oracle, I'm already collecting ballots. They're going to open up on Twitter soon. Oh my God, these results are there's a lot more stuff than you might think off the top of your head. There is some great stuff in this decade already. So that list may be a little controversial, I sense. My plan, Oracle, is we get the Fed 4 back together for that.
Oh, yeah.
Us two, Bobby, and the great Chris Bourdine. April 10th is our plan. We have, as mentioned, the Garden tomorrow, WrestleMania 10. Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to try and do these collision shows, but I literally don't know when they're airing. So, yeah. We'll figure that out, but I intend to do them. So, John, Bob's not here. But I intend to do them. In addition, I do want to say we are working on something. We're hoping to have an interview on LNG Productions early next week. Pretty cool guest. So stay tuned for that. There was a video on LNG Productions today, an Oscars video. My friend Toby Suicida, I chipped in on that. We had some fun with that. Check that out. 10 grinners were involved in that one. Some familiar faces and some fresh ones. Check that out on LNG Productions. And then, what else is happening next week? The Friday Night Graps is next week's flagship, which is always an absolute shit show. I'm going to try and bully Oracle in joining us so he can watch SmackDown.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There we go.
While we're watching Maple Leaf Pro. Tremendous stuff. Contrarian Alex, tell the people about the Contrarians.
We are thecontrarians.com, at Contrarian Prime across all social media feeds. let's plug this. Our Cabaret episode just came out. Wonderful movie, terrifyingly relevant, and Silent Running Silent, Bruce Stern sci-fi movie from the 70s coming soon. So yeah, we're thecontrarians.com, at Contrarian Prime across all social media. The Contrarians on your preferred podcatcher of choice. If you'd like, and you're in the Austin, Travis County, Bastrop County area, you can come see me in person on March 28th and 29th at the Cult Classic Convention at the Bastrop Convention and Exhibit Center. I will be housing my table, Alex's combat sports and movie memorabilia. So come check that out. And also, if you're in the Austin area, I'm going to be out of town this weekend, but I just do want to plug Baracho Pro Wrestling is running a show at the Austin Animal Services Center this Saturday, March 22nd at 2 p.m. Central Time. They're doing a live pro wrestling with also animal adoption, like an event there. So I believe it's free admission, and it looks like it's tickets are based on donations with a $10 maximum. Dmitry Alexandrov will be on that show. Really cool thing they're doing there, so be sure to check that out. Other than that, Grin Grappler Harley Race coming soon to you. And also, I believe, Joe, we got a few things working for WrestleMania week.
We do indeed. We're hoping even before that, April 1st is our plan for the first Criterion upload, which will be an anniversary again. You can do the maths on that, but we'll announce it all properly in the next week or so. We're hoping to have Alex join us for the Takeover Dallas Grid Along, which will be somewhere in that first week of April. And yes, WrestleMania week, you will get the beloved Contrarian Alex WrestleMania weekend preview in which he reads every single card listed. You guys asked for it, you're getting it again this year. And we're also, what's the show we're watching together, Alex? Remind me, we're doing Hitchcock together? Or we're doing Bloodsport? I forget, I apologize. The time is so blurred.
The Super Show, Hitchcock, yeah.
And did you see what they announced for that today, brother?
What did they announce?
Rematch of SmackDown 2016. Headbangers versus Heath and Rhino. Inject it into my veins.
Baby. Let's fucking go.
I mean that. I cannot wait. They wrestled for 3 minutes on SmackDown, and both Heath and Rhino got bloody noses from that deal. I can't wait. There will be color. Let's get it. All right. Tremendous stuff. So much happening in the land of grins. We appreciate everyone's continued support. We have a lot of stuff coming up that I think you guys are going to enjoy. Speaking of such, 1 week from tonight, right, the WCW draft, we're all in attendance for that one. We're on different teams, battling for the greatest stars in WCW history. I've seen some of the graphics. Can't wait for you guys to see that. We appreciate support. Check out that LNG Productions video. Support everything that was just listed here moments ago. And have yourselves a wonderful evening. We'll see you at the Garden tomorrow. WrestleMania 10, 10:05 Eastern. Keep grinning. All hail. Enjoy this outro. Goodbye.